I'm Larry, and tonight we have a great show for you. We are going to be possibly joined by a special guest, the one of the developers for a token called Devour token. So you guys can stay tuned for that. He should be coming on tonight at 9:15. We have a lot of different things that we have to catch you up with, and I've got to catch Max up with. We don't know too much about Devour, but it looks like a newer token. I bumped into it by accident and I was like, you know what? They seem like a nice community. I was chatting with them a little bit in Telegram. We want to give them an opportunity to come on because we like to look at low cap projects to see if it's something that me, Max, possibly the audience or our group, our network of friends that we know and people that we have that are investors. So, Max, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well, Larry. Thank you so much for continuing to have me on Crypto Talk Now. We got a pretty good show for you guys today. We're going to be, of course, interviewing a developer. On top of that, we're going to be covering a few different crypto projects as usual. And nonetheless, I just think it's going to be a pretty nice show overall.
We definitely have a jam-packed show. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to jump over to the screen and we're going to play a little bit of a guessing game against Max because I think you know the answer. I bet you can guess one thing, but I bet you can't guess what else I bought. So I loaded up again on something today because it was down. It was I'll give you a clue. It's in the top 100. Can you guess what that was?
The top 100.
Yep.
I'm going to say that you got some ape. And that
I didn't get ape. I didn't get tempted to ape into ape today because let me see ape. I'm spoiled by what I bought before.
What? I'm going to say CRO then. CRO. Huh? CRO.
Yes. Yeah. I bought Crow and I was like, wow, this hasn't been this low since, I know you said you bought it at 17 cents. I think I might have bought it around that, but I think I was more like 19 was the lowest.
Okay.
And of course I sold out my position just to make money in the past when it was really pumping last year, towards the end of last year. I have bought in a lot since then, dollar cost averaging in. And, as you know, the last couple of days and nights I've been buying in. And today I was like, holy cow, I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, is this really happening? Is Crow less than 30 cents? And then I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but apparently they changed some of the ways that they're doing the staking. I didn't have a chance to look into this, but I guess the staking rewards are not as good. But I was like, you know what? Put the staking rewards down to 0. I really don't care. Make the staking low because I want to accumulate more. Yeah. I'll take all the FUD that I can get on Crow Coin just from a selfish standpoint because I'm trying to load up my bag for
in reality, you care a little bit. I mean, you do want to get something for your staking, but I mean, at least I care. I mean, but nonetheless, I see what the point you're trying to make. But that was the other thing I was going to try to cover today was CRO, because it is great buying opportunities in regards to CRO. They did slash like a few things, like you mentioned. Are you familiar with Aaron Bennett by any chance? I think you are.
Which one though?
His name is Aaron Bennett. He does a lot of walkthrough videos on certain ones. We always cover CRO, and one of the things that he was mentioning was like the slashed rates that have come down, especially like on the cards, like the Jade, the some of the other ones. So, but still, even with that said, I mean, at the end of the day, great buying opportunities. I haven't seen it that low in a long time. So
yeah, me neither. The reason why I don't mind people being worried about Crow or discouraged or upset, I think it might be, people getting a little turned off, or maybe some people that are heavily invested in Crow or looking at other opportunities for higher staking rewards, possibly just moving money back and forth. I'm not really worried about it because to me, this is the next BNB, long term. In fact, I hope it goes down. I can't keep saying this because people are going to get mad. I hope it goes down to 10 cents so I can buy more. But that's not, we need to obviously appreciate. But I'm just thinking, if it could just spike way low and I could pick up a nice big bag of it and add to my bag and then let it just keep taking off from there. Because long term, I don't think about Crow, 2 weeks from now. I'm thinking about Crow 2, 3, 4 years from now because I really have a lot of faith and confidence in this. They put so much money into marketing around the Super Bowl. They have the rights for where the Lakers play, right? It used to be the Staples Center. Now it's Crypto.com Arena. They just do a lot of things right. They have crypto in their name, Crypto.com. I mean, that's excellent branding. So I'm not worried about Crow at all in the short term. And I know I joke around a lot about it, but I just, not financial advice, but it's strong advice in my mind to myself and you that it's a good, solid investment.
It really is. I mean, it's one of those things that you just gotta look at like it's like a retirement account to a sense. Because
Right.
I mean, it's just it's not a real short term play. Buying opportunities it is, but at the end of the day, for me, I'm looking at like maybe 5 to 6 years personally because I'm just looking to stay in it even that much longer. So,
Right.
yeah.
Well, it's not as exciting as a lot of these low cap tokens. Those are the ones that we, either gain a lot or sometimes we get wrecked, but it's just exciting to be in the low caps. And, I know I don't talk a lot about my strategy, but one of the strategies I have is to try to make some money with the low caps. And I think you might do the same thing, Max. We don't talk about it online, but then we transition that money over into the ones that we really feel are solid in the top 100 or the top 50.
Or even
So,
stable coin,
or a stable
earn,
coin, right?
right?
Exactly.
Earn interest on your stable coin. That way, if this is too much of as the saying goes, an emotional roller coaster for you, you have it locked up in something which is not going to go up or down, and you can at least earn interest on it.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
there's so many, the way I look at it is there's so many different things that I'm into with crypto. So if something is, not doing well, I mean, I can look on the other side of the page and there's a couple that might be doing good. It's rare that every single thing is down. Usually the meme coins, community-based tokens, they kind of follow the same trend. They might be more on the downside. They've been taking a beating lately, at least the ones I've been in. But that's to be expected. So what's the pre-sale that I got in today? Do you know? Can you guess that one? Don't look at my tabs.
let's see. I'm gonna say,
Well, I tricked you. It's not on my.
Yeah, no,
It's actually not on my tabs. I tricked you a little bit.
No, the other day I actually saw you. You tweeted about it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna check that out. But I have been. My head is just. I've been reading way too much. There's nothing wrong with reading too much anyway, but I just go ahead. Just go ahead and share it. It's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So I did put it on my. I probably won't even be able to find. Oh, here it is. I did.
Oh yeah, Banana Index. Yeah, and they sold out quick. Like what was it like within? Like not even a few minutes or something like that.
They did, but I think there's a little bit of funny business going on with this token because the same thing happened the last time. So the last time, to give you the history, Banana Task Force 8, which I did do some promotional work for them. I did do one video for them, did a review, and they're nice people. And the thing that happened with that is there was only 40 ETH in the pre-sale. I'm like, this is not going to last because there was a lot of good hype going around it and marketing. And I was going to have a launch party. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to have a launch party. This was something that I had decided to do on my own because it's going to sell out right away. And I'm thinking it's going to sell out, 2 minutes. It sold out like in less than 10 seconds. And then today, this this Bandex, which is the Banana Index, it's a governance token for the ecosystem. They sold out in 7 seconds on both the BNB side and the E side. So the BNB side, I wanted to try my odds of getting in there because there was 800 BNB. And then there was 100 ETH on the east side. So you know what? I was like, let me play the percentages. I'll just go after the BNB. So I had, I was just going to put in one BNB and see what happens. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be able to get into it this time. There's 800 of them. Well, sure enough, officially it was sold out in 7 seconds. I mean, I had that button pushed and I was ready to pay whatever it took for gas fees because it was like the competitive juices were flowing. I'm like, you know what? I finally want to get into one of these banana pre-sales and it didn't work out. So I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just get in on the launch. And you know how the Phantom launch went the other day. So I'm down a lot in that one too. That one I put more in. This one I didn't put much in. This was just intended to be a moon bag from the beginning. So one BNB, and I'm not worried about this one because I do think that this is a strong project. I know it's kind of like a meme and NFT and stuff like that. What happened is I think I got a good position. I bought in, and I don't know exactly where it was on the chart, but I remember seeing it was about 39% down. So I bought in there. So probably not far away from where we are now, 36% down in the last 24 hours. But a lot of people, are getting spoiled. They're just expecting all these tokens to just 2x, 3x, 4x right out of the gate. And that doesn't always happen. So I'm just being patient. I'm like, I'm just going to buy this on the dip because this is something that I actually think is a strong project. Kind of my feelings. We talked offline about Phantom. It's Phantom just needs to get out of its own way and do some marketing. And that's all it needs to do. I know there's a lot of FUD around the project, but we're just holding on. I've talked to a few people and I'm considering staking just to kind of hold the floor on that. And, but Banana Task Force Ape, the main token has done great. They've got an NFT collection and this is the governance token. So it's really not bad. It's at 1.4 million market cap. I mean, I don't see any reason. Again, anybody that's watching, I keep forgetting I'm talking to people at home. Not financial advice, but I don't see any reason why this can't go to, maybe 3 or 4 million by the end of the week. And then realistically speaking, 10 or 20 million, because they're talking about Banana Task Force Ape, the main token, hitting like 15 or 20 million in a couple weeks. So that's where we're at. I know you're not into that one, but we played a little bit of a guessing game. And you guessed you pretty much guessed Crow, but that was an easy guess.
Well, I might not be into it, but I mean, at the end of the day, if it ends up doing that, I mean, that's basically erasing 1 or 2 zeros.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, the way I'm playing this one, I guess I'll just say for the audience at home. So, I don't want to come off as if I, have a crystal ball and I'm always right with all these tokens. I don't. They're high risk. These low caps are high risk, but the ones that are strong, like we're going to bring up one soon. I think, only looked at Devour for a couple minutes really, but I want to hear from the developer himself. And he seems like a really nice guy. His name is Chad. The thing is with these small caps, they have to have utility. They have to be strong projects. I don't need to tell you, but this one here, I think has a future. I think Phantom is just so scared with what's going on with the FUD and with the YouTubers and stuff like that. And they're just not pulling trigger with the marketing. But this one here, they just move really fast. Now, as far as the pre-sale, the funny business to me is there's no way that I think it's humanly possible that 800 BNB would get sold out like that with the cap that they had, the limitations on the buy. So I feel like there's bot activity. I do feel like some of the influencers, I won't mention their names, that are heavily pushing this are, have been airdrop tokens because, I wanted to get in on this and, my mouse is just as fast as theirs. So there's no reason why, this is the thing that I was kind of I mentioned to somebody that's involved with Pixel and I'm not flooding that project. I think it's a good project. I'm going to try to get in that pre-sale as well, but they're also starting out with a pretty big ask. I think like 1,500 ETH. And I like the concept of what BTFA did, Banana Task Force Ape, having a lower soft and hard cap because the sellout happens right away. Now, whether it was bots or not, it creates a lot of FOMO for crazy people like me that want to get in on the launch. So That's what I'm looking at. I think it's better. I think from my experience, it's better to have a lower cap on the pre-sales and have a lot of good marketing and obviously have a good project, but there's some of these projects are just asking for a little bit too much in the pre-sale.
Well, and at the same time, I mean, some of these people need to realize that, on the pre-sale, like you said, they've been spoiled with the projects that went 2x, 3x, et cetera, et cetera. But my response to that is look at the history of when those pre-sales were. Were these pre-sales back from last September to like November? And if so, or most likely, there's a few factors to play into that. All-time highs for Bitcoin. You're looking at Ethereum about $4,500 or more.
Yep,
those play big factors into all of that. So at the same time, it's just like, I mean, look at how the overall crypto market's been. It's been bleeding. I mean, yeah, today it's been okay, but I should say okay.
Well, it's a mixed bag. It depends on what you're looking at. We're only looking at the top 100. I made a mistake with Hex. I was thinking I was being a hero with Hex and trying to swing trade a little bit. I got in at 10 cents and sold off a while back at like 15 thinking I'm a hero, but I think Hex is a good long-term play, and I want to kind of get back into it, but I'm spoiled. I want to get back in at 10 cents. So I'm just waiting. So that's been
You
doing
know,
good the last couple of days. So, there's some good projects in the top 100 that I'm looking at, but the one that just stood out was like, okay, earlier in the day, there was a lot of recovery. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on with Crow? And okay, so Crow's on sale. So I see backstage we have Chad that just joined us. Again, he's from Devour Token. We're grateful that he decided to spend a few minutes with us. He can spend as long as he wants with us, and we're going to bring him in now. Chad, when I bring you in, you're going to be live. So just so you know, there's no talking backstage. You're going to be live. So you can shake your head if you're ready to come on. I can see you there. Okay. So we're going to bring on Chad. I'm going to click the button right now. Hey, Chad, how are you? I'm Larry, and this is Max.
Larry, Max, good to meet both of you.
You too, Chad. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This all came together rather quickly, didn't it?
It did. This is a relatively new show. This is only, the channel's been around a little while, since last October. We're building it up. But the live stream with me and Max, this is only our 8th show. So what we're trying to do, we're just trying to play it by ear. We like to talk about different cryptos, even if we're not into them. And one of the things I've been doing is just bouncing in different telegrams when I discover newer tokens and just seeing who, would want to come on and talk with us. And so we get to learn about the project, and some of the viewers can learn about it. And full disclosure, this is not sponsored and we are not invested, but, we are curious about it and potentially could be investors. So Max, I guess I'll just go first with a quick question, and then you can jump in and we'll give Chad a chance to answer everything.
Sure, no problem. Go for it.
Okay, so so let me ask you, Chad, what gave you the vision or the idea to have Devour Token? Now explain to me, it's basically a restaurant token. Is it a reward system for restaurant workers like cooks and waiters and waitresses, or what's the concept like for it?
Yeah, so we cover a lot of things, but let's kind of start for your viewers who don't know anything about what we're doing, and it is good that you came to the website, and I also want to thank you for having us on and recognizing what we're doing here.
Thank you.
Devour is driving Web3 for restaurants. I think the starting point is to just understand who we as devs are. We all come from this industry, right? Restaurant technology. I have 15 years experience. Each of my two co-founders each have 30 plus years in this industry. So you could say we've spent our careers here. And doing that, we've gained the necessary experience, I think, that covers restaurant operations, but also the technology that powers restaurants. If you think about what restaurants need in their kitchen, in the front of house, drive-through where that's in play, to make that orchestration work, it's complicated. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of different platforms that they use. And that's the world we come from and the world we know. So when we saw what was happening in Web3, because like you guys, like your viewers, we were investing in various tokens and kind of started with dabbling and then became more and more entrenched as we learned more and more. And it was ultimately this realization that we all had, which is like, oh my gosh, Web3 is coming.
Yeah,
it's
that's
coming.
true.
And it's coming for this industry that we love. We can't sit complacent in our jobs, as good as those jobs and companies we may be in. We're going to get disrupted, and our customers, our friends, family, in many cases, are going to get disrupted. So, and we've seen that happen. The pandemic did it in a big way. Shut down dining rooms overnight, and only those restaurants that had been forward thinking enough to accept delivery or do delivery orders, online orders, curbside pickup orders, those were the restaurants that survived, or in some cases thrived. And so we knew this was coming, and it was just a question like, were we going to take the initiative to solve the problems that restaurants were soon going to face, which would be being in a Web 2 technology world where an increasingly large portion of the population is becoming Web 3 savvy, and I'll go beyond savvy, passionate. I'm on calls with people like they understand that like Web 3 is a philosophy, right, on how life ought to be, in betterment of mankind. And that passionate community is going to want to engage with restaurants in a certain way, right? Rather that, can recognize who they are, right? The things they're passionate about, and tailor those experiences that they have in the restaurant to that. And so that's what Devour is doing. We are bridging that gap between Web3 and restaurants. And it is what you said. I mean, you see it right there on the site. It's that first crypto payments platform, NFT rewards platform that is catering to restaurants and their fans. It's that
Okay,
simple.
great.
But we can go into detail, of course.
Sure. Yeah. So tell me, and I'm going to let Max jump in after I ask this question. Tell me a little bit more specifically about the reward. So let me just kind of walk you through it just with an example. So say I'm in my favorite restaurant,
Yeah.
and does the person, so I'm the person that's eating, I have to basically be invested in this token, and I'm going to reward that to somebody, or is there going to be like an app? How do I share the rewards with, say, with the waitress that is waiting on me?
Yeah, so let me go into like kind of the ecosystem of Devour. And we're not going to start with the reward. We're going to start with the desired behavior that the
Okay.
restaurant wishes to incentivize. And I'll broaden it. And it could be the restaurant, it could be Devour as a company or one of our collaboration partners.
Okay.
So whether a guest is ordering online, making a reservation, showing up for a reservation, um, joining the loyalty program, coming to an event, right? It's all of the activities that a restaurant might want to say, hey, we would love it if you did this. Those are the kind of behaviors that through our technology or through one of our technology partners that we would be integrated with, they would be able to say, okay, you've just earned restaurants token. It is the rewards token of the ecosystem. So there's so many forms that could take. And to your point, yes, a restaurant can and will use that same token to reward their employees. That is something that we did. We really learned would be one of the utilities of this token in doing our research. So after we formed Devour, we talked to the restaurants that we were connected with. We talked to the technology partners. We already had a strong inkling that labor challenges, being able to hire staff in this market, keep staff for the long haul, that is a challenge in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So in talking about how Web3 could benefit the industry and talking about how, yeah, this is a platform and an ecosystem that you could use to attract and reward talent, that did get restaurants excited consistently. So that is absolutely going to be one of the applications we see for the restaurants token and our NFTs for that matter, when it comes to staff, for sure.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, the restaurant industry, the businesses, it's tough to be in the restaurant business. I've never owned a restaurant, but I have friends that have and still do. And it's difficult to retain. That's something I need to think about, retention of employees, wait staff, cooks, especially when you get a good cook, it's hard to keep them. But, all the people are hard. Now, if they felt incentivized by something like this, then that's kind of this could be sort of your unique proposition, so to speak. Like, this is something that has a really good, strong use case. So I'm going to let Max jump in here. What do you think, Max? What do you have questions for Chad?
Yeah. So, Chad, first of all, I mean, I actually covered something in regards to what your project is a while back. So this is something that I'm more familiar with, and I actually love seeing this. Yeah, thanks. I don't know if you're familiar with a person by the name of Charlie Shrem, for instance. He's part of the Bitcoin Foundation, but he's part of what they call Investor Place. And he was saying one of the big topics that's going to come about in 2022 is these things called MATs, which means Mass Adoption Token. And what he means by that is basically tokenizing things like, for instance, restaurants. You have a favorite mom and pop restaurant that's local and so on. You want to see them, go a little bit further and so on. It's the tokenization of these particular, in your case, like these restaurants and so on. And it's really nice to see that there's now, like, for instance, like your platform with Devour. And by the way, what a cool name, Devour. Like if you love, right, certain restaurants and so on, you're going to go in there and you're going to do what? You're not going to mess around. You're going to devour that food up. So,
yeah, I know I am.
So, I mean, it's just that this term, mass adoption token or MATs, last year, for instance, everybody was talking about NFTs and so on. And there was mentioned that MATs by the end of this year was going to be something that was mentioned more. And so to see you guys really come into light and introduces, this concept already speaks volumes for your project. I really like seeing this. I also like how you're, implementing the NFTs in regards to that. into this particular token project that you got going on. I do see right here, it says, for instance, it says it's going to be used by restaurants, collaborative partners, and our own project to reward and delight guests, employees, and community members. So it's not just focused on the utility side, right? At the end of the day, we all want something with utility, but being able to get your guests involved, your employees involved, and other community members, that is really, really cool. I'm going to look more into this because, again, I already covered something like this on my own particular channel, and this really caught my interest, to be honest with you, Chad.
Max, you've hit on some key terms there. I'm going to start with accessibility. So if you think about the restaurant industry in particular, all of the guests that they serve, right? You got people from all age ranges, demographics, et cetera. And we're, in the US alone, just every walk of life, right? And not all of those people are Web3 people. In fact, it's a small percentage today. So we knew if we wanted to help restaurants seize this opportunity, we were going to have to solve that accessibility problem and make this a mainstream technology. And the way we've done that is what you'll see under NFTs there with the Founders Club, just to showcase how easy NFTs can be, right? Like what every one of your viewers would have had to do at one point to get into the crypto game, open an account on exchange, get a wallet, etc. That is not a hard requirement that someone figure that out and even learn all of the terminology. The tech exists, and we built it into the front end of the app here to create someone a crypto wallet in the background, right? Tie it to their social login, tie it to their email, but still give them the ability to get in the game and get a crypto asset, right? In this case, the free Devour Founders Club. And we did that to just let everybody know, like, this doesn't have to be difficult. And I know there's other companies solving, similar for that user experience in other industries, but we're certainly alone in solving it in the restaurant industry. And it's an important prerequisite for larger restaurants, especially, to be able to take seriously the idea of rolling out some kind of campaign involving crypto or NFTs to their guests.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. No, it sounds good. You go ahead, Max, if you have something. I'll follow up with what you're saying.
No, I just, again, I think on, the little segment that I covered, basically, it shows this really nice restaurant, and it's in the New York area and so on. It's basically a pizzeria. And, just, you could tell that, they were just like starting out, for instance, and so on. And, people, as the patrons coming into the restaurant and so on, like the concept, and so on. And it's just like, well, why not? What is wrong with tokenizing this? There is nothing wrong with it, and the benefits behind it and so on. So I said it actually in the back of my head, I was like, at some point, somebody, right, is going to come along and they're going to recognize this opportunity. I really think this is huge, and be able to see you guys' faces posted here, the LinkedIn links, be able to read your guys' backgrounds. I know this has just been like the first time, I came into contact with you, Chad, and so on, but I will say this, I'm going to really, really research this a lot more for myself, and who knows, I might even do a video on it on my own channel. So awesome, I'm very impressed with this. I got to be honest. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you what you're on the screen right now is one of the most impressive aspects of the project. It's the team, the advisory team. If you look at these people, they are at the top of their respective industries. Rick there, he started the company that was later acquired by PAR. That's the main point of sale system to large brands that everybody knows, like Five Guys, Arby's, Dairy Queen, and the list goes on. So he knows product in the restaurant tech world. Renan and Zach are fantastic NFT advisors, and they're one of the reasons we have such a strong collection coming with our industry collection. Roman, I could probably talk 30 minutes about just this guy, but he's started a different, like years back now, a restaurant technology company leveraging the power of blockchain. He knows the space so well, restaurant tech and Web3, and the list goes on. I could talk about each of these guys, but the restaurant groups, they're the best.
Absolutely, it looks like this. just like Larry, I covered various crypto projects and so on. One in particular, two in particular, is like what's going on in the metaverse. I recently covered Luna One, Metropolis, and so on. And some of the key factors that stand out in Web3 in regards to that is, for instance, taking musicians and them be able to do what, kind of like similar to what you guys are doing with the restaurants, but tokenizing themselves in Web3, in this case, the metaverse and so on. But you guys are basically taking that concept, if you will, and doing with the whole restaurant thing. I'm not going to BS you. I'm really, really going to, this has caught my attention. I'm excited about this. I want to look into this a lot further. And again, for those who are watching, take a look at this. I mean, this is, I know this gets thrown around a lot, but it's revolutionary. It's very innovative, to say the very least. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
Have you guys heard, Max or Larry, about the Fly Fish Club, the New York restaurant that even Gary Vaynerchuk is partnered with?
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't heard of that one. No.
I'll give the summary because it reminds me of what you're saying, Max, about tokenizing the restaurant. So they tokenize membership, right? So the only way you get into this restaurant, and I should note, they're not open. They're going to open in about a year from now, but they sold their membership in the form of NFTs, and in so doing raised $16 million. Now that right there just tells you people value, I think Web 2 things like memberships, but they value those things being in the environment of Web 3 because it imparts ownership and control, and not having to worry about what's going to happen, right? You can sell it, you can transfer it, you can gift it to somebody, you can lease it in this case. So that is a good example of how the world's already connecting with like the what, right? Like idea of a tokenized membership. Devour's mission is more in the how, right? Like how do you do that in a way that preserves that guest experience so that people aren't having to pick up the phone to call and make a reservation because Web3 world might not have that otherwise, right? So like we're about making solutions that work for restaurants, that are scalable, that aren't going to drive the staff crazy, nor the guest. And so that's a good example of, with Fly Fish is like, okay, that's a great success story. And companies like us, or Devour specifically, because there are no other companies like us, are going to solve the problems of how does this actually work, to make guests, have a pleasant dining experience and have the tech not get in the way.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's the big thing, and that's what I was going to say earlier. Crypto is very confusing for a lot of new people, for sure. And the casual person that's going to a fine dining restaurant establishment, they're not going to want to mess around with figuring out how to hook up their MetaMask wallet. They're going to want it to be simple. A lot of people don't even know what NFTs are, but I think it's becoming a little bit more in the mainstream news. So people are finding out. But if you can have this adoption where it's simplified, I think that's heading in the right direction. But I found this by accident. So the way I found it was 2-Bit Crypto did a review, and I just follow him because we're partnered up with another project that we both cover. So I just happened to see it when I got a notification when he released the video. So I was like, wow, what's this? So it caught my attention. But the thing that stands out, and I didn't do any research before that because I kind of like to bring stuff on. Like a lot of times Max likes to surprise me with things that I haven't heard of, and we like to look at it and digest it on stream. It's a little bit more natural that way. So we'll look at this really closely offline. But what I'm most impressed with just on the surface is, the concept is really good, but I just can't believe that you have this entire team assembled. Like, how did you, how long have you been working on this project, and how did you assemble this staff, or this, I shouldn't say staff, but this team of people with all this experience? Like, did you all know each other before, or how long has this been in the works?
So we launched in December, but it was in the works for at least a few months before that. But the real answer to how we got this team, because everything moves at the speed of light in crypto. We got this team rather quickly, just by virtue of our network, right? So when we went out and told the people what we were doing, it reached a lot of eyeballs really quickly, and a lot of people reached out, and those that we did talk about it either wanted to be involved or wanted to tell others that they were this person's into this kind of thing. You guys should talk to them. And so we just very quickly made a lot of contacts with people that were a really good fit for our project. by virtue of the length of time we've had in the industry.
I see that. Yeah. And you got a pretty fancy white paper here. The reason why I mentioned that is we're used to some degenerate type of investments on not only in my channel, but in this space with these low cap tokens, these community projects, meme coins and the such. You know, sometimes you're just dealing with a cartoon character. We don't even know who the main dev is, and that's unfortunate. And that's kind of getting weeded out. A lot more people are demanding that people dox, and it's refreshing not only that this team is doxed, but also you can just tell on the surface that there's quite a bit of experience here. There was a lot of thought put into this website, and it's well laid out. In terms of point of sale, because I'm looking at something else, a pre-sale for Pixel, and they're big on point of sale. Is this going to be? I might not be using the terminology right. Are you going to have like a debit type of card or rewards type of card, or is it going to be something that I swipe, like where I can go pay with it, like Square or something like that if I'm a restaurant owner, or Clover, or what is it all going to be like? What's the nuts and bolts of the technology going to be like?
Great question. Yeah, because we haven't gotten into that. So we have the rewards token, but I think that tokens kind of complement the product line. So what we have for our product is in development. It is the Devour app, and that is the hub where all of this comes together. So at the heart of the app is it integrates our token ecosystem. So we have the rewards token, and next month we're launching Devour Pay, the pay token for more transactional needs. So like ordering food online where a high gas fee would not be acceptable. So we have those plugged into the app. We'll be able to connect users' wallets so all of their restaurant ecosystem assets could be connected there, their NFT collections relevant to the space. And in the background, in the back end of it, we're facilitating collaboration. So this is where a Web3 community that says, you know what? We're always looking for a way to give more utility to our holders, right? You see this all over the place with NFTs, roadmaps. They're looking for everything they can do. And people are going to figure out, wait a minute, there's a lot of restaurants out there. There's 1 million in the US alone. They're great options for giving guests utility. But then you go, how do you do it? Well, in our app, we can put the smart contract address of an NFT project and then tie it to given restaurants, systems, and utilities they wish to assign. So like pop, now you get 10% off online at a given restaurant because you're a holder of a given NFT. So
that's awesome.
Because
that kind of collaboration we know is so essential, because restaurants are always looking for ways to attract new guests. Well, again, passionate Web3 communities that are going to be looking for restaurants that appreciate who they are and their groups that they're affiliated with. So it seemed like a no-brainer to us to build that in. And then to help deliver the utility, we'll have our own app, can do that directly with some applications, but then integrating to existing restaurant software platforms that may not be able to, soup to nuts, make themselves Web3 versions of themselves, but they can integrate with us. We can do the heavy lifting, do 90% of the work. So for them to be able to then offer guests utility, some guest experience related to NFT ownership or crypto spend, we can make that lightweight for them and give guests more options.
It's very interesting. So I'm just thinking more along the lines of utility. I don't know if this is something that you thought about, but it just popped in my mind.
Yeah.
Will you be able to have like a dashboard or some sort of interface? Say I'm the restaurant owner and I have, I don't know, like it's not like a chain, but I have like a fancy restaurant, let's just say, for lack of a better term, like something that people like to go to. And, my whole life I spent running a restaurant. So I know how to, I know the restaurant business, but I don't know anything about technology. Will there be some kind of simple interface where I can click a button, I can airdrop a NFT into someone's wallet, all of the people that have come into my restaurant, and then they'll have some sort of a special invitation with that NFT to come to a special dining event, or maybe it gives them like, a free dessert or a free meal because they've come here 10 times. So they get some kind of a reward like that. Will the restaurant owners?
I was literally about to ask that. The same thing. We're thinking the same thing. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. And if you and I are thinking the same thing, other people are thinking the same thing. I mean, I will just interject this real quick. Being able to incentivize people that are coming onto your platform with these things, with the NFTs and so on. I mean, for instance, you got one guy, and let's say he just minted an NFT through your platform. Now he's able to take that to, for instance, Bob's Pizzeria, and he's just like, hey, honey, you know, check this out. I'm going to get like 15% off her meal or whatever. Then he takes another NFT off of their platform, for instance, and he does it at the other restaurant. Let's say it's not even a pizzeria and so on, but it's consistently being able to incentivize, you know, your patrons, customers, and so on. It gets them excited, and then they share, you know, the app with other people. Like, hey man, you got this app? That thing doesn't even do anything. Check out this Devour app, and then word of mouth kicks in and so on. I'm really, really impressed. I don't just say that on Larry knows. I don't just say this on a lot of projects, but this is really cool.
It's
I
funny.
saw a little fork and a knife. I live in Phoenix. That looks like a cactus to me. So
one of our founders, Shelly, lives in Phoenix as well.
Oh, okay.
This is funny, because the funny thing that we always say is that sometimes we find good projects by accident because we spend like hours looking for stuff, and sometimes we don't find anything good. But this is really, you know, we're not just saying this. Like, this is impressive. I think, you know, on the surface, without doing much research, to me, it seems it's undervalued. You know, I think that, and I don't really, you know, we don't know each other. I'm guessing possibly the only thing holding you back is just people don't know enough about it. And there's just needs, you know, we need to get the word out. In other words, we need, you know, you need more marketing and things of that nature. But you're at, is this accurate? About 2.7 million?
That's it. Yeah, we're a small market cap there.
Small cap,
and it's what you said, and there's a reason. So as I said, we started in December, and we didn't do what a lot of projects do and just go heavy on Web3 marketing from the get-go. We started more low key, talking to people in the industry about what our vision was, right? Seeking that validation that our product roadmap was on point and solving the problems the industry wanted us to solve, and help them in the way that we want help. And so we spent the first, you know, even I'd say up until like 2-3 weeks ago, absolutely focusing on that, going to industry conferences, having lots and lots of industry conversations. Well, that doesn't put a lot of Web3 community eyes on our project and gaining holders. What it did do is get us a small but passionate community, because it was grown from the Web3 community who immediately latched onto it, as well as people from our network, family, friends, industry connections who've joined us in our community, talking with us all the time on Telegram. So we have a strong, small following. But yeah, the only reason that this isn't much bigger project in terms of market cap is because of the awareness. We've only started on that recently.
Yeah, I mean, from an investor standpoint, I'm sure that Max would definitely agree. You know, it's extremely attractive. I mean, the low caps is where we like to look at. The problem is that there are so many low cap tokens that, you know, they don't pan out. They're more of a short term, or, you know, people call them pump and dumps and things like that. And, or, you know, they're just something that, you know, they have a play to earn game like everyone else has. And, you know, people invest in it for a month and then everyone forgets about it. But, you know, this serves a real purpose. Like, this could be really big. I don't want to put a number on a market cap, but it's definitely not, you know, it's much more than a $2 million market cap from what I'm seeing just from the team alone on your website. And that's not even knowing anyone from the team, but I can just tell by the way it's laid out and the way you're speaking about it. Go ahead.
I'm actually just going to interject here real quick, back to what Larry was talking about just a few seconds ago. And that is the whole thing of, you know, certain projects with certain low market caps, you know, you talk about it for a little bit and so on. And then, you know, they're kind of like on the back burner. You realistically with Devour have something which won't just be on the minds of people, but consistently will be on the minds of people, because this is something in which has utility for those of us who just simply do the whole restaurant thing daily or a few times a week. I get it. We all have our own budgets and so on. But I mean, you know, this is one is just like, you know, for people, my one buddy, my friend Mike, he actually comes on to our channel quite often. You know, he's always saying to me, oh man, I got to uninstall this particular thing. I got to get this app on. I got too many apps. For me, this is one in which once your app is done, I got to have this on my phone and use it like basically daily. I mean, it's just what a cool project you got here. I'm going to be honest. This is like a diamond in the rough Shout out to
It is,
Larry,
yeah.
of course. Yeah, and you coming on here. I'm very, very excited about this. I'm going to do just for my own, personal regard, a little bit more research on it
Yeah.
and so on. But I am definitely leaning towards getting a bag myself. I'm just really, really impressed. And the reason why I state that is because for those who are tuning in, at the end of the day, don't just listen to any influencer, myself, and so on. We always want you to do your own research when it comes to any project. But for me personally, Devour, I'm very, very impressed with it, and I am definitely leaning towards picking up a bag for myself. So,
Yeah.
Thank you. I would recommend everybody start with the founders' LinkedIn profiles. It tells a story about who we are and why we're doing this.
To read about that. Yeah.
Very appreciate what you guys are saying. And just in terms of, again, how early this is, one of the things that I love to remind our community, because it's exciting, is that because we're so early, if we think about where this token is going to be used and who's going to be using it and the quantities they're going to be using it, it creates a buy pressure on the token that is ultimately probably going to be more from restaurants, Devour, and our collab partners than from the Web3 market itself. And once we get to that stage, watch out. We haven't even put out the press release yet regarding our partnership with the Bored Ape Yacht Club restaurant.
oh my goodness,
wow.
are you kidding me? Are
I'm
you
not
kidding
kidding
me?
you.
Oh man,
That might be
we-
all
that
you
is-
need.
We've
that
shared it.
press
We've
release might
shared
be
it
all you
in
need.
some context,
Ugh.
but it is not widely known that the Food Fighters Universe project, which is just a phenomenal team. They've created they called it Bored and Hungry. It's in Long Beach, California, and the Food Fighters Universe, which launches their NFT collection in May this month, and they have a phenomenal following already. Restaurants token is a staking reward for their NFT holders. So
Wow.
and that partnership's just beginning. And
Yeah, I'm gonna look more into that myself. That's some of the biggest news you brought to this AMA.
That's
I
a
mean,
good, that's going to be a good press release for you. That will definitely get you, that'll move the charts just having that press release right there. Let me ask you this, and you might have already said it, and forgive me if I miss it because I'm bouncing all around and thinking about a million things about, investing in your project as we speak here. Time frame, and I don't want to pin you to a time frame because, I know you don't want to overpromise, underdeliver, that sort of thing, but
yeah,
give us a sense as to your app and things of that nature. Like when can we see like a version 1 or like a beta version or something that we can get our hands on to test this out so that we can see how it functions?
yeah. I'll kind of go through a timeline of products and where we lead up to that app, and I'll try to be conservative with these numbers here. So we already launched our Founders Club NFT experience. Again, purpose there to showcase easy NFT. That technology is going to be rolled into our app as well. In about little or less than a month, we're going to also be releasing 2 products. One is Devour Pay, the pay token that complements the rewards token in the ecosystem. We'll also be launching the Industry Collection, which is our tribute to the industry. This collection, we are putting so much work into this from an art and utility standpoint. Because it's a tribute to the industry, we would be one of the first to say, like, forget all of these PFP projects that are just about another cartoon, this or that. But we love this industry so much, it needed to be showcased. You needed to see restaurant workers with like the grit and the energy and what they put into their jobs and how it leaves them at the end of the day, but there's still this spirit inside of them and they come together as family. We needed to capture that. So we did. And that collection will also feature restaurant workers from all kinds of positions in the restaurant. And then the utility will be fantastic too. While I could talk about a lot of things, I'll just say it's kind of that NFT that the industry can rally around and say, hey, I want to be part of this. When
Right.
a holder of that collection comes into my restaurant or they order from me online, they get this benefit. So we'll have a large list of brands that say, hey, we're part of this industry collection. And so that will come out in about a month's time. In the mid to late summer is where I would put the app. It's a little harder to pin that down, but that's when we'll release that.
Two quick questions for you. Number one would be, do you have any plans? So from a rollout standpoint with the app, and I just keep thinking about different restaurants. It might be easier to roll it out to chains. So,
Right.
like obviously McDonald's, but it doesn't have to be McDonald's. You mentioned,
Too big.
like Red Robin, those type of, family type of restaurants. Do you think that that's going to be where you're going to kind of pitch this towards, where you're going to try to capture that type of market share with the, educating the different chains so that it can go throughout their franchisees? Or the other question I have too is centralized exchanges. Do you have any plans? I know you said you're going to have another token come out. Do you have any plans to get listed on like a centralized exchange, or are you already listed on one?
We are talking to exchanges now, and we are particularly well positioned with the new token Devour Pay to get that token on exchanges as well. We had that planned in from the elements we include in the smart contract, the partners we were working with in the space for that. So that will come.
Okay.
In terms of your question, in terms of target audience, so what we can do with the industry collection and our partners there, basically any brand restaurant that wants to be a part of that, any reputable restaurant, we would say, sure, be a part of the club, give your benefit to holders, right? And that could be brands large and small. For what I haven't really mentioned yet is Devour does offer turnkey NFT services. So if a brand does want help creating their own NFT and creating a campaign and figuring out what makes sense, tying that into the guest experience there, we can do all of that for them. But there's where we are going to be more focused on a particular kind of restaurant. We would not be working with McDonald's on that. One, they're McDonald's. They're already playing with the metaverse and seeing what's there and spending millions of dollars experimenting. Most restaurants are not McDonald's. We're going to, and nor do small restaurants necessarily have the scale to get the value out of an NFT campaign today. So if there we're focusing more on the mid-sized brands, maybe like 20 to 200 locations. They can move quickly, right? Decide quickly, move quickly. And if they have a passionate fan base that could really rally around an NFT campaign that brand puts out, there are prime targets, and there's actually plenty of them. So that's who you'll likely see Devour work with first on, kind of the NFT as a service type offering.
Okay, well, we want to be respectful of your time, Chad. We appreciate you again coming on. We're talking with the COO of Devour Token and talking about the whole ecosystem here and the app and all that fun stuff. I believe it's way undervalued. I don't need to even do, 3 hours of research to tell you that. I can just tell. But Max, I'll give you a couple more questions, and then let's ask Chad to tell us anything else he wants to tell us, our audience, his community that might be watching that we might have forgotten or didn't ask. But you have any other questions, Max? A couple of questions?
No, it's just, more like comment on a couple things. I mean, I'm literally in here with you guys, for instance. And I'm just thinking, for instance, because I'm one of the main guys that covers, for instance, Metropolis. I'll just throw that out there. And I'm just thinking of from that perspective, it's the future. It's like, let's say later this year, if you will. And there's these people showing up to one of these virtual concerts, Chad. And it's like, they're really into it. They're enjoying the music. But let's face it, at some point, these people, they're going to get the munchies, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to get hungry. And if they had your app with your platform, right, and they're ordering, because at the end of the day, they're enjoying the concert and so on, but they're at home. Can you imagine all the, for instance, the delivery of that, being able to use their app, being able to use their NFT to get a discount from their, favorite local restaurant using Devour. I'm just, I guess you could say I'm dreaming up, but I'm thinking of it's not just dreaming. It's like, these are realistic possibilities. And that's what excites me. And if it excites me, it's going to excite quite a few other people. I will state this, back to kind of what, I don't know if it was Larry or what you were stating earlier. And that is, actually it was you, Chad, when you were mentioning about, getting about, what was it, 100, 200 different restaurants throughout the nation and so on. Do you guys have targeted cities? Because for me personally, the obvious ones that stand out: Miami,
Yep. LA.
New York, San Francisco, Bay Area. Yeah,
Yes.
LA and so on. I mean, San Francisco. Shoot, where I'm originally from, I'm born and raised in Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon, right? Believe it or not, on MSN.com, 5 years straight for having like the biggest collection of independent restaurants. And they won that title like 5 years. So it was crazy. But anyway, that's beside the point. I mean, heck, even in the Phoenix area where I'm at right now, it's just you can go gangbusters with that. So, is that your guys' plans? Some of the targeted cities in regards to that, just for diversification, I guess you could say.
Yes. So while we would like to have a good representation across the U.S. and Canada, because we're principally going to have to start with North America because that's where our networks and relationships are, and that's where the technologies that we know are. That being said, we have international plans. We'd be crazy if we didn't focus to some degree on Miami and LA. Like the NFT crypto culture there is so strong, and we will be focusing on regions with large populations and tech savvy populations as a whole, but we will be also going broadly, right? It's just, but there will have to be that focus on the cities.
Well, that makes total sense. I mean, me personally, it's just they just stand out. I mean, and rightfully so. So, right on. Glad to hear that.
It was a shock for me. I'm from the Boston area, and there's not a whole lot of crypto and NFT activity here. I went to an event in LA. My gosh, you got it on the billboards. You got, Super Chief Gallery going there. It's like a whole place just for NFT collections. It's like it's another world. QR codes everywhere. You don't see that in Boston. So
yeah,
there's a diversity of of readiness, I guess you could say, for Web3, depending on where you are.
Right,
yeah.
but again, it's just more the adoption. They'll get there. I mean, just
yeah.
like any other big cities is eventually going to get there. I think still currently was it 4 or 5% of the overall world is into cryptocurrency. The expectation is by 2030 it's going to be significantly different. So, we'll get there. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to happen fast because just you guys know, like the big companies, the big players, right, coming in with big money, with big projects, they're going to get mainstream interest. It's going to happen. It's faster, going to happen faster than sooner than anyone realizes.
That's true. I agree.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Okay, so Chad, I'll give you the last parting words. Anything you want to address that we might have forgotten? Something that's a key strong point of your project here? Anything you want to mention?
We've hit a lot. I want to just encourage everybody to do what you said, Larry, is like, that research, right? Do your own research on us. And I'll even extend, at least to this audience, especially if you DM me and mention, hey, I saw you on Larry. I'm happy to have a one-on-one conversation with anybody. I have enough time in the coming week to do that. So please reach out if you have any questions for me or drop in our Telegram. Our Telegram is Devour Token. That's where you'll see all of the activity and conversation of the community. It's a fun group. Encourage everybody to join. We'd love to have you two guys in there. Just if nothing else, to say hi once in a while. But that's where you'll get the alpha dropped usually first as well. But yeah, check us out. Be a part of the crew. And if anybody's in Chicago, we're coming to the biggest restaurant conference in North America in Chicago this month, May 21st through 24th. 70,000 people will flow through that show floor, and we're going to be promoting the heck out of the industry collection and everything Devour. So
that's awesome. You guys are hitting it hard.
That's good. Hard. For anybody that's watching at home, I have Devour Token right up here on the screen. This is their Twitter page, and you can click on. It has their LinkedIn. You can see not their LinkedIn, I should say their link tree. It has all the links. You can go see all their socials, their website, white paper, Twitter, Discord, Telegram, everything. So we want to thank you, Chad, for joining us. We appreciate it. I know it was just kind of off the cuff and just last moment. But that's kind of like the way we like to do this show. Just no plan. We just see where it goes. And I think we did find like a diamond in the rough, so to speak. And it's not because your project's not a good one. It's just because we need to get the word out there. More people need to hear this because it's a strong project. We can just tell by what we saw on the show, and we're going to spend time offline going into it more. And you probably got yourself at least 2 investors right here. So we'll see who else from the show agrees. But We do
Yeah,
thank
more
you
than
for your
likely.
time, and
Yeah.
we hope that we could have you back sometime. Maybe we could even do like a full AMA or something like that.
Yeah, be glad to, guys. Absolutely. Just tell me when.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I'm going to a restaurant conference in Vegas tomorrow. So leaving Wednesday morning. So not this week, but anytime next week and after.
Okay, great.
Yeah, sounds great. I mean, we got this. We're pretty much a daily show. It's Max and Larry at Crypto Talk Now. I literally just put up a graphic on it on our Twitter, or on my Twitter not that long ago. I always link Larry as well. But yeah.
And just a quick note to the existing Devour community: subscribe to these guys. These guys are awesome. Follow. So, yeah, we'll help you guys out as much as we can as well.
Okay, we appreciate
Thanks
that.
so
All
much,
right,
Chad. We appreciate that. Yeah.
enjoy
Thanks,
the rest
guys.
of your night. Go get a good meal because you're making me hungry talking about restaurants.
Well, see, I love to eat. So like people plan vacations, like where am I going to go? Where am I going to stay? What am I going to do? For me, it's like, where am I going to eat?
Right.
That's
how
what
I am
it's all
too.
about. All right. Good night, guys.
All right. Thank you for your time.
All right,
Have a good
Chad.
one.
Thanks for coming on.
All right. Bye-bye. All
That
right.
was fun.
That
What
was
a great
good.
project. I mean, Chad on here and so on. Hats off to you, Larry. Very, very.
I'll tell you, it was a
cool.
total accident. I mean, I literally was doing research just like 15 minutes before we came on because I just had this feeling about it. I liked the reception that I got in the Telegram. They were friendly because I usually pop in when I discover a token. The first thing I do is I go and check out the Twitter page, and then I jump in their Telegram and I just try to say hello to see what it's like in there to get a feel for it. Some of these communities, and this, I'm not saying this one is, but some of them are toxic, and this one was definitely welcoming. They were receptive to my questions and very polite. So I like that feel, right off the bat. And like I said, I ran into it by accident with 2-Bit Crypto here. And then when I went on their Twitter page, I saw, you and I both know that, you're familiar with Wendy O. They have a, now I don't see it anymore. Well, here
I would
it
say
is.
most people are familiar with her. I mean, she's definitely out there.
Yeah, she's really good. So she did a
Yeah.
little 10-minute spot. So like right before I came on with you, I watched, I skimmed through it. I watched like 5 minutes of it. I'm like, this is really good. I can tell this gentleman's well-spoken. He knows his stuff and he looks like a great ambassador for the project. And this is going to be a good one. But, really, I didn't really know what to expect. And I kind of like to do that. I kind of like to get surprised. I ask you to come on here and tell me about something that I don't know. And I learn something every night. So it's kind of cool.
It's more than kind of cool. It is cool. It's super cool.
This might be the one. We were talking offline, Max. We were saying that one of these days we're going to stumble into that low cap token. I know that you and I we've had success offline, but since we've been doing the show, it's only the 8th show, right? I said, what's going to happen? Someone's going to come to us and we're going to be like, this is the one. This is like the good investment. This is the one to get behind. And I kind of get that feeling with this one. Now, I did like the developer last night from MediToken. I liked him too, but this one seems to have a lot more utility. MediToken is nothing against MediToken because I love them too, but they're like a charity token. But this one has a chance to, be like the industry standard for this type of concept. Like we talk about a lot. What play to earn? We talked about watch to earn,
eat to
exercise.
Eat to earn.
I forgot to ask him. That was one of the questions. Can I get paid for eating something?
Get paid to eat, man. I mean, I'm a big guy, as you guys know, and so on. So,
they don't want me in charge of the marketing because I'm going to change part of it to you got to pay me to eat your food. If you want me to come to your restaurant, give me like a $10,000 NFT, and I'm going to eat your food. You're going to pay me for that too.
Well, it's funny. At the very beginning of the show, Pinky Katya, hopefully I'm pronounced that right, she states, know anything about FitFi? And I said to her, yes, we just actually covered it yesterday. Remember at the beginning of the show yesterday? They were actually just recently listed on crypto.com for trading and so on. So it's not like we're just covering, this whole thing of like, stuff in our face, getting paid for it and so on. We do look at from, both sides of it and so on. I mean, God knows I could lose the weight too, but this is cool because at the end of the day, I mean, we would never bash, what was it, MediToken, MediBlock?
Yeah,
So,
I don't want to bash Meditoken.
no,
No,
I mean it's a really cool
let me go
concept.
ahead and let's go ahead and bash the only one that we'll bash on the show and the channel, and that's Mononoke Inu. That's it.
Oh,
I can
man.
only that's the only one that I can do because everybody, you know, you put $1,000 in and it's worth, you know, $3.29 or whatever it is.
If
We can't
that.
sell it. We can't get a Big Mac. I can't, you know, I can get a sweet tea. That's about it.
Sorry about that.
I can't get anything for my Mononoke Inu. So that's the only one, because I think that there's nobody in the world that expects Mononoke Inu to come back. So that's kind of what I was saying to Chad. I'm like, you know, we're used to in the space because everybody, you know, once in a while has that degen in them and they want to, you know, get like 50x if they can. And then, you know, half the time they lose 20x. But this is a real product. Like they have real utility. Like this is something that I can actually put my money in and wait, and it might actually go up. You know, I think it will because we're investing in cartoon characters that don't even have any purpose, like Mononoke Inu.
Let me just interject this real quick. And the real difference is basically just this: you're taking projects in which, don't get us wrong, they have utility, and that's great. But the difference here is what? Daily utility. All right, daily utility. You see yourself literally using this. You know, especially depending on what kind of work you do and so on. If you're going to be going out before work, breakfast or something like that, the utility in that. You and your coworkers, you know, they see you on this thing, Devour, and they're like, "Oh, what's that all about?" And hey, man, check this out. You know, especially if they know you're in the crypto and all that and so on. It's literally minted this NFT. There was no gas fees on it, just like it mentions here. Oh, really? That sounds cool. Yeah. And then on top of it, I got like, you know, 20% off or, you know, 15 to 20% off at Bob's Pizzeria. No way. Let me check that out. It's just, again, the word of mouth. The best type of advertising is word of mouth advertising because then it just catches fire and it just spreads like crazy.
Well, so, I mean, we know the power of apps. You know, in the non-crypto world, the big apps are what? Like Uber, right? I mean, that was the first big app. You know, then Lyft came along. But you know, when you have these type of apps and they have, you know, a real use case, and you know, not only are you going to save, you know, 15% on your cheeseburger, but you're going to raise $16 million just to get into a restaurant that's not even open yet. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So there's a lot that can be done with this type of utility. And you know, what's going to happen is they're going to do really well, and then someone else is going to compete. But that's just, you know, that's just the way, you know, the capitalism works. But this is something where, you know, I'm surprised there hasn't been more eyes on this. Now it looks like they launched. That's what I was trying to go back and see. He was saying something about, didn't he say something in December?
Hold on a second. I think we might be frozen on the actual live stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm looking at that and it's just like a froze. Oh, hold on. No, we're not. My bad. I accidentally hit the pause button.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but
did we rug?
I had to make sure. No,
did we rug the live stream again?
No, we didn't.
It's either the connection and now it's the live stream. Okay, so the thing that I'm trying to say, which I don't know what I'm saying, I'm trying to figure out when they started. So they started, I'm seeing maybe on CoinMarketCap, they were listed around January 9th, or I'm sorry, 19th, but it looks like they started in December from what I heard from him, from Chad. So this is not a bad chart. I mean, you had a double top here. Again, you know, I'm not a chartist, but this is something where I just throw the chart out the window. Like, I don't even care what the chart looks like. In fact, I'm happy that the cap is low because I can get into it. You know,
well, like I said, I mean, you do care a little bit. In reality, none of, you know, Larry and I, we're not into the super technical basis because at the end of the day, you know, recognizing you guys come on the show, do you really want to hear guys going to be like, and when we look at the chart, it moved 5%. No,
get the heck out of here with that.
Bueller. But at the same time,
we don't do the day trading. We're looking. Well, we're looking for. This is what I'm looking for on the show. I'm looking for.
It's a healthy chart. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I want to be surprised. I want you to come to me and find me, you know, something that's going to really take off, you know, but not just like because it has a cute dog attached to it or a cat. You know, we already have dogs and cats. And we have a lot of investments like that. So we're looking for something that can really be revolutionary, you know, like something that actually is going to work and something that people are going to want to use, you know, because if I'm getting together with you, when you come and visit me in North Carolina, you know, in order to take me to lunch, you're going to have to give me an NFT, right? Or because the NFT is going to pay for the meal. That's what it needs to be
we'll
like.
pay for the meal.
Now.
At least give us a discount, and it'll incentivize us to be using this. And then not only that, guys, for those who were joining us a little bit late, again, we're covering Devour token. We just had Chad from the team come on here not too long ago. And the cool thing is this, he mentioned that whole thing about, was it the partnership with the Bored Ape Yachts Club? That alone, to be able to, bump elbows or rub elbows with those guys. Are you kidding? Oh,
Nobody buy this token. Don't buy this token before we get into it. Let us get in first, and then everyone buy it, so it pumps up. No, but that's what I mean about the chart. Like, I don't need to even look at the chart. Like, to me, I'm happy right now as an investor, right? I'm happy that it's a low cap because that means I can get into it and I can make money. But this is not something that I would just get into and then get out of. This is not like, I'm not investing in a puppy dog. Like, this is a real thing right here. Like, this is, this could be like the crypto.com of the restaurant industry for crypto. So, I mean, it's crazy because it was all, by accident that I found this. And, I had no idea what to expect. And that's the way I like to have this show. I want to be pleasantly surprised. One of these days, one of these devs is going to come on here and we're both going to look at ourselves. Now, we're not going to say anything bad, but we're just going to be like, whatever, and just kind of go through the questions. But this is like, this Chad coming on took over the whole show tonight because we were going to talk about other stuff, and I can't talk about anything else because it was really impressive.
Oh, no, the flair of excitement is just not going to be there as well. I mean, we'll talk about some of the other stuff because, those are good plays as well. But, guys, again, if you're just tuning in, by all means, check out the Devour token. It's not financial advice. At the end of the day, this is entertainment, educational purposes. But you can recognize the utility behind this. And at the end of the day, you should be doing more of your own research. Heck, Larry and I are going to be looking more into this offline. I know I will be. And then for the record, Larry, I'm going to be looking more into daily, not just utility-driven projects, right? But daily utility-driven projects, because at the end of the day, we don't want to put ones that just, this is on our back burner. They got something kind of cool going on. They got a little bit of utility and so on. Yeah, not bad. This is what excites me because it's just like this stands out. This is going to be something that people are going to use on a daily basis, and it's a long-term play for me as well. So,
well, you owe me a Bored Ape yacht. No, not a Bored Ape yacht, but you owe me a Bored Ape.
Oh, you a Bored Ape?
This one. Yeah, so you better go get one. Go buy a Bored Ape and send it to my wallet, one of my wallets.
I don't know if you've seen that FTX commercial with Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors, where Shaq calls him in. He's like, "Yeah, I'm with Steph Curry of the crypto expert of the world," or something. He's like, "No, I ain't no crypto expert." And it shows like one of those Bored Ape ice sculptures, and he's like,
I missed that one. The one that I saw that everybody was teasing me about was "Don't Be a Larry" with FTX on the Super Bowl commercial. Did you see that one? With Larry, the guy like from Seinfeld, he was like the producer or something.
Oh,
like,
that one was awesome.
Like the guy comes in with the wheel. He's like, shows him the wheel. He's like, "Nah, I'm not."
Larry David. Yeah, right. Larry David of
Curb
Your Enthusiasm and creator of Seinfeld. Yep.
Okay, so show me something that's wrong with this token because I'm not seeing anything wrong. I don't see.
Oh my goodness, are you
I'm
kidding?
Not seeing anything wrong on Token Sniffer.
Like, we should have got this when Chad was on here. Guys, check this out for yourself. A perfect 100 out of 100 score on Token Sniffer. My goodness, buy fees 10%, sell fees less than 9.9%. We already have 44.81% of circulating supply burned. Adequate liquidity, at least 95% liquidity is burn / locked, 99.97% Unicrypt locked until December of this year. So don't have to really worry about that for another 233 days. 91.72% locked up in that. It keeps getting more and more impressive. That was the icing on the cake right there. Oh my goodness.
I got to send a thank you to 2-Bit Crypto. We didn't talk. Where's 2-Bit Crypto? Oh, are you there?
I'm there. I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought you got rugged.
No.
Okay, no. I was saying that, I'm going to thank 2-Bit Crypto. He doesn't even know that we're talking about him. But I'm going through, I'm doing a video on Strange Inu. I'm doing a video on Strange Inu. Can you hear that? We're talking about a crazy looking dog. Okay. So that's what we're doing videos on here. And there's nothing against Strange Inu because it looks like a good project. But what's funny about it is we're doing dogs and cats and crazy stuff. Saitama, and we got everything Shibnobi. So everybody has a meme coin, and it's all crazy. But this is really something. And I'm looking at it because, I follow 2-Bit Crypto, right? I subscribe to a bunch of YouTubers that I like. And it pops up on my feed like 18 minutes or whatever. And so I start looking at it, but I'm impatient because I'm doing other stuff. So I just kind of skim through it. I'm like, you know what? I'll go into their Telegram group. I probably watched 20 seconds of the video, and I'm like, yeah, we'll just go contact these guys. It seems like, they're advertising, they're doing some marketing. So maybe they're interested in coming on the show. We'll give them a free platform and see what happens. And they came on. So, it's kind of crazy because this could be the one that we found kind of early, and it looks like they're starting to have some different influencers talk about it. So it might be something we're going to have to get into pretty soon before everybody and their brother starts talking about it.
Again, everybody's always talking about, it's the keys to find the gems and so on. I mean, obviously, we're still not as amazing as this is and so on. It's not like we're saying that this is going to 1000x or anything like that. We're not, but it's just we're already impressed beforehand.
Wait.
It's not from here.
No, I'm pushing the buttons. I just wanted to show you I have my sound effects. Let's see this one. And how about this one? How about this? See, you got to get one of these stream decks.
No, I hear you. It's just that you need to get your buddy Johan, right?
Yeah,
program in which it broadcasts to like how we hear it in our headphones, like studio quality, because otherwise, it's just a small background sound. But you'll figure it out for it.
Yeah, we got to figure out all this stuff. Yeah, it's probably just picking up through my mic and it's not piping through the stream. But tech is not my area. I'm just a crypto investor right now. So, okay, so we're looking at all this stuff. Do we want to even talk about anything else? I mean, we can. We could talk about
how far are we into it? By the way, shout out to everybody who's joined us right now. We just kind of ran away with this with the whole talk of Devour.
You know what? I'm just going to change the name of the channel to Devour. And then that way, that'll be the thing that helps us take off.
Let me ask our audience right now. We're making you guys hungry. You guys wanting to go devour something? If so, come on, bring your food and join us on the chat, and we'd love to hear from you.
That's one thing I don't think I can do is eat like a meal on stream. I mean,
well, that's why we have
kind of gross.
That's why we have mute buttons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there you go. And I can rug my camera for a minute while I wolf down a cheeseburger or something. But yeah, so. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the commission? So I did a quick video. It's funny. So let's just tell the audience what happened. So you're saying to me, like within 2 minutes of us coming online, because that's our show prep, right? It's usually like 3, 4, 5 minutes at the most, because we like to have surprises here. So we're talking and you're like, are you okay talking about the commission? Is that one that's on your bad list? Like, is it on your naughty crypto list? You didn't say it that way, but I'm thinking, is this the bad list? No, it's totally fine, because I just did a Saitama video and I happened to mention the commission. And I know that, some people have been kind of fudding it, but I don't want to know, but I just want to know one thing. I don't really know much about it. I did a quick video update for Saitama. I mentioned the commission because it was Twitter. I didn't get into great detail, but let me just ask you off the cuff. Is this something that is acting? I know it's a separate token, but is it acting like the marketing wallet for Saitama? Is that what they're doing here? They're kind of like embedded together, and they're using this as a way to gain liquidity for SataMask and other things?
Not to just come out and say it like that, but might as well. You pretty much called it, because, I mean, we go down to the tokenomics, it mentions specifically that. That's, of course, one thing. But the other thing that, really caught my eye was, for instance, and I'll just go ahead and say it because, I respect the guy and so on. I think he's as we would say, he's a nice kid. And that is Classy Crypto.
Yeah.
Shout out to Classy, if you happen to see this, for instance. But you caught my attention in regards to the commission because of how it's tied into gold. I like that. And basically, if you're wondering, well, how could they actually tie it into physical gold? Well, there's two elements behind that. For one, it's tied into Pax Gold, which is, again, part of it's a listing on, it's cryptocurrency, Pax Gold. And so Pax Gold bases their price based off of what? Actual price of gold per ounce. So When we go further into this, for instance, it mentions some of these things. There it is right there. Let's see, 2% Saitama marketing wallet. On top of that, you got the 2% marketing wallet on the cell. So yes, I mean, Larry.
Oh, they come right out and say it. I thought that
Yeah.
this was like
No,
hush
it's
hush,
not,
you know.
No, it ain't hush hush at all. I mean,
all right.
And knowing that, I think beforehand, you know, when it first came out and so on, like this is just false narrative, like, you know, oh yeah, this is just the Saitama team trying to shield this new thing, and you know, because of the FUD behind it, and there's nothing really FUD about this. It's just overall a pretty good project. I mean, again, it's not financial advice or anything like that, but I mean, you know, some people they got the attitude like, well, I really wonder if the mob's really behind it. Are you kidding me?
So
you don't have you don't have no devs.
I have to interrupt you because that's always what I do, so I gotta stay consistent.
Oh, okay.
So this is what I'm thinking about right now, Max. Now that I'm looking at this, I mean, I like the colors of the website. Now that sounds crazy, but the black, the gold, I like this type of gold. But look, just hear me out on this. Maybe the thing that saves Saitama, not that it needs saving, but to get it back to its glory days of a high market cap. Right now, it's at like 300 million. Get it to a billion, 2, 3, 4 billion again. Maybe what is going to happen is, because I don't know if you're familiar with Iggy Washer or whatever it is with Guzzler, and they had Clifford Enu and stuff like that, and that kind of everybody was looking at like the
you're lagging.
But you know, maybe what needs to happen is Saitama needs to strike gold, no pun intended, with one of these tokens, maybe the commission or maybe something else. Saitama strikes gold with one of these tokens. It goes on SataMask. You know, they do really well. This commission develops the marketing wallet. They get money for liquidity. They fix SataMask. They throw, you know, they inject liquidity and all this crazy stuff, the back end, whatever they talk about. They fix it, right? Is it possible, and I'm not saying it's a commission, but it could be, is it possible that one of the tokens on SataMask will be the thing that just makes, you know, Saitama take off again? Like another token sort of almost in their own ecosystem, because I view SataMask is more of a launch pad, like a meme token launch pad. If they can harness like one really strong token.
Yes, 100%. And that's why, you guys, at the end of the day, you know, shout out to the Saitama Wolfpack. Again, Larry and I are part of the Saitama Wolfpack. It's not us just beating that drum to death, right? And you know, going with the ship as they're sinking. You got to keep in mind, if you're looking at Saitama, again, I can't say this enough. If you're looking at Saitama again, in which, you know, day trading, to me, it's not really a day trading play. It's these long-term things that they got going on. For instance, because like this is just one example of how things are starting to change for them in general. And the beauty behind the whole concept of their vision with SataMask and so on, and just consistently onboarding more and more of these projects. But it's not just onboarding just anything and everything, right? The typical meme token or whatever, but getting good quality projects like this, because it's going to affect like the ecosystem and so on. To a sense, it's kind of like, you know, again, I always use the example, but like Zilliqa with their ecosystem and their smart contracts and what they umbrella, right? So you have Saitama, they're umbrellaing, you know, they have an umbrella of all these other projects underneath them. That's part of their ecosystem. But the point is this: it's the same concept. Some people say apples and oranges. Yeah, I get that, but look what the commission is already starting to do, and you already have, you know, not just us, but there's other top influencers who will cover this. I mean, obviously, Classic Crypto and so on. And if you could actually go on CMC real quick right now, I mean, the commission is actually doing pretty darn well in general, and it has been all day long.
Well, you know, the market cap
volume alone, look at that.
Yeah,
it's low, but look at that volume.
Yeah, I know. That's not bad.
336,000. That's nothing to bat an eye to. And then
it's
to
up
have
a lot.
gold.
It's up 175, 175%. Is there a wolf in your studio?
Is there a wolf in my studio? We man.
You hear that?
There you go. Maybe crank that up a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I got a wolf in my studio. I just
needed.
You just can't hear it very well.
You gotta get Henok to come up on here and hit that button, and you and him, or you could get.
Yeah, I wish I could. Anyway. Let me see if I could pick up my stream deck. See, can you see it? That's what it looks like.
I like Henok. I think he's a good man. Okay, right on. You got soundboard. You got literally a
Yeah, it's a
literally
Stream
assembled.
Deck
So
soundboard.
nice.
I don't know how to use it. I just push buttons and see what happens. Hey, oh look, a Samer's in here. I've seen Samer before. Saitama is taking a dump on all of us. 98% down. Who Saitama? Yeah, I know. Can we stop talking about Saitama? Samer, if you're still here, we talked about Devour for like 45 minutes. You missed it. You got to be here earlier, my friend. I've seen Samer before in the other comments. Well, what it is we want Saitama to do well. We're both early investors in Saitama. What we are, realistic about it. We will be critical. That doesn't mean we're going to trash it. But, we want it to do well because we don't want people to lose money. Like, I don't want to lose money. So I'm not going to FUD my own project, but I'm also going to be, realistic about it. I'm going to tell you where I think they need to improve. Not that they're going to listen to me, but, even Classy Crypto, gives them constructive criticism. And I like Classy. I've had an interview with him before. So maybe one of these times I was thinking about that earlier. We should probably try to see if Classy Crypto might want to come on and say hi, even for 5 minutes. When Samer comes here, we'll bring on Classy Crypto and he can talk about Saitama for the whole night. He's probably not here anymore. So, but yeah, Max, I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with this project. And I think I like the fact that Saitama says, hey, this is like, we're using this as our marketing wallet and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, that's better than, wondering what it's there for. So.
Well, no, just the whole thing about, how they actually tie in actual gold with it and so on. It's just it's nice to see these type of projects connected with them and so on. So
I saw that. Yeah, I posted actually on my Twitter. I posted about here it is right here. Yeah, the Glimpse group. I retweeted this, but I just went to their Twitter. It says right here that the commission is proud to partner with Glimpse Group, and there's a NASDAQ symbol for them. So
right.
It says the commission token, one of the first digital assets backed by gold, achieves major development milestone with AR-based. Let's see what it says. I went into it went onto it on the video. Yeah, augmented reality-based NFTs for cryptocurrency. So, I mean, I know that people were FUDding the commission right off the bat, and it's just because it's tied to Saitama and anything, that gets tied to Saitama.
I get it. It's what comes with the territory, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, how about this? I mean, are people even aware that the commission has a perfect 100 out of 100 token sniffer score? Does anybody even want to talk about that? Or are we just going to...
I mean, I'll talk about it. I didn't realize.
This is connected to Saitama, so let's just go ahead and FUD it.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Well, what it is that, and, I'll admit it too. I mean, my videos are 95% positive about Saitama. I do point out some things they need to improve on, constructive criticism.
Look at that.
But, the reality is you talk good, bad, or sideways about Saitama, and it's going to get a lot of views. That's the thing, especially if you're a bigger influencer. And that's the reason why people continue to talk about it. So, yeah, it's 100 out of 100. 7% buy fee, 9% sell. Tokens burned. Let's see how long the liquidity is locked. So, okay, so it's locked for 216 days. That's good. So on the surface, I don't see anything wrong with the commission. I would tell you if I saw something, and this is probably one that I'll think about getting into. I haven't used, to be transparent, I haven't used SataMask. I tried a long time ago to download it one time, and that didn't work. And right now, I just really didn't have a need for it because I saw it as I'll only get it when I really want to get something from it. Like if I wanted to get a token. So maybe this might be the first one, or, this is probably also available on Uniswap, but this could be the one. I'll have to go back and watch Classy Crypto's video because I didn't watch it.
It's not
I know
that
he
long.
talked about it, but yeah, this could be the one that, so does he think the way I'm thinking that this could be the one that saves Saitama, or,
I mean, he doesn't use that. He doesn't exactly use that, exact, verbiage or anything, but I mean, it's definitely helping the overall project, to say the least. Yeah.
I like their logo and the gold and the black, and I like this, the gold coin with Saitama. So, they just don't want to go to the version 2. So to me, this is the next best thing. If they're going to try to fix the project, so to speak, or just they're trying to fix the issue of not having marketing dollars. So if they want to do that with another token, that's totally fine. A lot of these tokens are coming out with other tokens in their ecosystem. I mean, Banana Task Force 8 today just came out with a governance token. A lot of these ones, Shibnobi talked about having another token. People don't like it sometimes. Shiba Inu has Bone. Shiba Inu has Leash. This is part of the territory.
I'm glad you just mentioned that. A big influencer, Matthew Perry, I think it was this morning or last night, he put out a video literally, because he was worried that Shiba Inu was going to do this whole version 2 thing. He was like, I don't want to see it. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of migrating tokens or and so on. And I was like, God, I really hope that this is not the case. Because I mean, a few days ago, we covered the whole thing about, it's kind of like on the fence about, pairing up my Shiba Inu with my leash and then putting it on Shiba Swap and then, like doing the math behind it because of how, I have over 1 billion of the Shiba Inu tokens, and then combined with leash based on the rates of at the time of, looking at that 2 weeks ago, it was like, I could walk away like 16,000 off of that or something like that,
Yeah,
again,
you were trying to figure out about staking, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was a really nice incentive, but again, I would have to have it locked in there for a year, and it's just like they don't talk about that. Like if those people have that locked up, right, and then you have migration, right, and it's just like,
it's funny. I'll tell you that everybody wants to go crazy with a version 2 because the reason why I brought up the Phantom chart is I'm in the Telegram today and I'm saying, hey, guys, let's go here. Let's, we need to have some sort of a marketing plan and not just a plan, like just let's take action. Let's actually have YouTubers, not just me. Let's go out there and sign the biggest of the best or a whole army of small YouTubers. And let's just go ahead and start having, every single day a video update, just like Strange Enu is doing. They just got me and 3 other, YouTubers. I consider us all relatively small, and that's what we're doing. We're doing video updates every single day, all 5 of us. So that's 25 videos a day, ranging from, mine today was 5 minutes, 2 minutes to 5 minute videos is what they want. So that just, gets the word out about Strange Enu. Everybody's seeing all these videos, whether the chart is good or not, they're still hearing about the project. Now, why can't Phantom do that? I hate to FUD my own bad. I put over $2,000 into Phantom, and right now I'm down. And I know that comes with the territory, but what I don't like, and I'll just say it right now, is that they're just kind of having this laissez-faire attitude, laying back, waiting for something to happen. Crypto moves fast. They need to just start doing the marketing. Like, it's not enough just to talk in Telegram. They need to have Twitter marketing and YouTube marketing. So I'm going to bring this back to version 2. So I'm in the Telegram, and they're saying, you know what? It was a failure.
I'll be able to hear you. I'm not disconnected. Just give me just a second.
I can hear you. Okay. So I'll just talk to the audience. So I'm going to talk to myself and you guys out there. So I'm in the Phantom Telegram, and somebody in there has the bright idea of, oh boy, the sky has fallen. We need to go to a version 2. Yada, yada, yada. And I'm thinking to myself, guys, it's been like 1 day. It's only been 1 day that this token has launched, and we're already talking about it being a failure. We're already talking about we need to go to a version 2. No, we don't need to go to a version 2. If people want to stake, that's cool. If they want to hold the floor, I have not staked the token. I'm considering doing it. I believe that there's some whales in here, and I think it's going to come back. But at the same time, we need to get off. And what I mean, we need to get off. We need to get off our tails, off our butts, Phantom Project, and start to get the word out on YouTube. Go on these live streams. I understand the devs are private people. I had them on my show. They're really super nice guys. Riz and Matt are super nice. But that doesn't mean like a bunch of other YouTubers can talk about it. I think I was in the video chat or the voice chat, and I think Teddy Ganja was talking, and I think he's going to start covering them. They're going to make an agreement with him. So that's great, because him and I were chatting in the Telegram, and we both feel the same way. You know, he's invested in it, I'm invested in it, and we want to see the project do well. But, you know, like I say so many times, I've said it to you in the last few days, you can have the greatest project in the world, whether it's crypto, you know, or Tesla, you know, inventing something. If somebody doesn't know about it, if Tesla doesn't have commercials, no one's going to know about their latest and greatest car. You know, they have to be able to advertise and market things. I mean, they raised $3 million in the pre-sale and over $1 million in volume on the first day. That's like $100,000 going to the marketing and the dev wallets. So there's more than enough money to do marketing. Like, what are we waiting for? That's what I don't understand. So,
well, they even mentioned it when they came on. You know, well, I should say they came on with you. I of course watched the recorded. Sometimes, you know, because I'm here daily with you. Sometimes I'm like, wait, was I part of that? But yeah, on the recorded AMA that you did with them, I mean, Riz even mentions the whole thing of, you know, what was it, 80,000 a month? So it's like, okay, well, you know, and then you mentioned they brought in, what was it, like, you know, a little over $1 million over the weekend or something like that. So it's like the money's there.
3 million. They bought it. Yeah, let me just reiterate for
3
our
million.
audience.
Okay.
Just $3 million in the pre-sale. $3 million. 3 million. They had $1 million in volume on day one, right? $1 million. That translates into easily $100,000.
That's where I was getting the million day one.
Yeah, $100,000 in marketing on top of the 3 million they already had. Great people in the project. Don't get me wrong. I'm not upset about the people running the project, but I wanted to light the fire under them because I've been messaging them privately and I haven't. It's been radio silent. I've been messaging them in the Telegram and everybody's quiet. So Teddy and I have been, you know, messaging in there, and, you know, he did get on voice chat. I'll give him credit for that. And it looks like he's going to be someone talking about now Wealthyverse, who I like too, Wealthyverse Studios, was Shane. You know, Shane wears the same hat as me. He's younger than I am. He's a Marine. He's a good guy. And then Mr. Bird, I like him too. They're going to supposedly talk about Phantom every day. But, you know, that's great. But, you know, we need like an army of YouTubers talking about it. Like, we need 10, 15 YouTubers, unless they want to go out and hire, you know, the big YouTubers, which is fine. They can go hire a couple big YouTubers. If they don't want me to talk about it, that's fine. I don't think that that's the case. I think they just don't think it's a priority. But, you know, you could put $80,000 or $100,000 a month in a project. You know, you and I could go and invent an electric car if we had the funding for it. No one is going to want to buy the electric car if they don't know it exists. If we don't have it out in the marketplace that we're selling an electric car, no one's going to come on knocking our door and buy a car.
No, you're absolutely right. You know, my thing. Huh?
You're speechless.
No, I also don't want to cut you off because, I mean, you know, this is obviously Phantom is more of a project that you're like personally invested in and you're more into than me, for instance. So obviously I'm not going to, you know, want to cut you off. I will state this though, and that is, you know, based on, you know, the gist of what I've seen, and also me, I watched that entire AMA. I've gone on this site and so on. I do like the concept of what they're trying to do by changing the game, if you will, as far as, you know, tying in crypto with social media. I think that's the big thing that they're trying to do and so on. But, you know, I will state this. It's kind of like the way I look at, and this is a pretty good analogy, if you will. So as you know, I'm a big NBA basketball fan and so on. And I see this happen in the NBA. And the point I'm trying to make here is you'll see these players, and instead of focusing on what the plan is, the game, if you will, playing defense and doing all this and reflecting on the mistakes that they did and looking at film and all that stuff, what they'll do is they'll go home and they'll turn on TV, and then they'll focus on social media, television, all this criticism, right? And it affects how they think and what they're going to do in the game and so on. And for what the brief amount of that you mentioned with me was, well, what if, and again, this is just the what if, you know, what if the Phantom team is literally looking at like, oh no, we gotten so much fun on this, we're just not going to say Jack Dooley squat. You got to keep in mind, you can delegate that type of responsibility to a community manager. You can have two different community managers, one that covers things Monday through Friday, and another one that does it on the weekends. This is not me trying to, FUD the project myself or anything. It's just, at their backgrounds, right? So for instance, I'm not saying that Riz has a bad background, but I mean, that was one of the things that was pointed out, that he might not have as much experience as the next guy. Well, that's where some of these things come into full circle, and that is recognizing, look, you got to delegate this to a real community manager who understands, the questions and concerns, because obviously, silent treatment or just nothing is not going to help this project at all. I mean, from what you mentioned, the Telegram, maybe in some tweets, heck, I don't even know, maybe even old school with the emails. I don't know. But my point is, for them to have absolutely nothing to come back with that tells me that is like, I don't even know what that tells me, because I haven't seen that. You know what I mean? You got to have at least some community managers. I would say at least 2, one on the weekend, one during the week.
Yeah. I understand the devs being private people. I really do. They're really nice guys. We had some great conversation when we were offline, and I won't get into the conversation because it was private, but my sense is that they're private people and they're not used to be on camera, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have a whole team of people that are working for you, and you have the ability, you have the wherewithal, the money to reach into your pocket, into the marketing wallet, and pay people to do the marketing for you. Like, it's not about me getting paid to do any more videos on this channel. That's fine. That's not what I'm upset about. What I'm upset about is the lack of activity of signing other YouTubers up. Yes, it's great that they're grabbing Teddy Ganja. I think he's great. He's entertaining. He's going to be, he's knowledgeable. He's part of the Shinobi team. He's a CTO for them. He's a great guy. Fun to be around. You can tell. I mean, I've never met him in person, but seems like he's a fun guy to be with, hang out with. All these guys are good YouTubers. Wealthyverse is good, but it's not enough. It's not enough. There needs to be a whole army of people. And if you don't want a whole army of YouTubers, then you've got to get the big boys involved. And those are the ones that have more than 100,000 subscribers. So this is where I'm at. I'm thinking that what could be happening is they're shell shocked, maybe because there's so much FUD around the project that they're not really sure what to do, and they're trying to regroup and come up with a plan. But there is no planning. It's real simple. It's take some money, contact the YouTubers, and say, look, what's your rates to do some promotional videos? What's your rates for our marketing guys to get on your channel and talk about the project? What's your rates, Twitter influencers, for you to do some tweets about us? This is what they need to be doing. And I'm not sure the reason why they're not doing it. If they're just holding out because they're waiting on developing a product, that product is not going to even be around for 6 months to 8 months. Right now they have staking. Okay, so they have staking, and they're talking about doing NFTs. The NFTs are not going to be done overnight.
Jeez, that's a lot of cells.
Yeah, so this is just going to be forgotten about. That's the unfortunate thing, and it doesn't need to be that way. And the more time that goes on, right now the negative voices are louder than the positive. In my opinion, people have a right to, complain about the project or be down on it or be negative. If somebody's not investing in it and they want to go on YouTube and complain about it, that's their prerogative. Like this is America, and they have a right to freedom of speech. But if they're worried about a few people talking bad about the project, which is their right to do, all they need to do is, for every 3 people that are saying something bad about the project, they need to have 10 people that are saying something positive, and the positive drowns out the negative. There's so many things. We've seen with Saitama over and over again. We've seen with a lot of other projects, Shinobi. A lot of these community-based tokens are filled with drama. A lot of them, community-wise, shoot themselves in the foot. I won't even name the projects. But the point is that we live in a day and age in the crypto world where the way people find out about projects is through YouTube and through Twitter. And maybe eventually, if the project gets off the ground, through something like Phantom Project. But, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, this is how people find out about stuff.
Those are the big 3 when it comes to crypto. You're absolutely right.
So if you and I had a project together and I had $3 million and I said, gee, you know, like people are saying bad stuff about us. What can we do? You'd say, well, you know, why don't we hire some people to say some good stuff about us? I mean, it's just common sense to me. I have no clue what they're doing. I don't understand the hesitancy. I mean, what are we waiting for? We can't be waiting. I'm going on my rant. This is the first time I've ever really gone on a rant. I feel like I'm not fighting the project. I'm trying to light the fire under the project. You know, $2,000 is $2,000, but what if I invested $10,000 or $20,000? There's somebody that watches our show. I won't say the name. Yeah. There's somebody that watches our show that put in 2 ETH, and then I think he went back in and bought another ETH when it was down, like yesterday. So he's put in, he's
like basically a whale of the project. He's a whale of the project.
He's put in like $8,000 or $9,000 in the project because he believes in it, and he's, you know, somebody that watches our show, and he messaged me on Telegram. So I'm not just trying to light the fire for myself. You know, $2,000 is $2,000. But what about, you know, the other 100 people that have $2,000 invested that, you know, not only watch this show, but watch all the other shows? That's what I'm talking about. This is not just about my investment. This is about a lot of people's investment. There was over 1,000 people that invested in that pre-sale.
No, I totally get where you're coming from. I mean, you know, again, it's just delegating. I myself am not a big fan of bureaucracy, but in some cases, it kind of makes sense. So it's just like, you don't want the person that has zero, you know, social media exposure, or is, you know, not comfortable being behind a camera, not comfortable with, you know, this person making a certain amount of criticism. Because at the end of the day, just like what you were mentioning, you know, like, I don't want to flood this. I also think people need to recognize there's a difference between constructive criticism and FUD. And a lot of times in crypto and just in general, if you say anything constructive, that, you know, it's constructive criticism, people are like, oh, you're FUDing that. Why? Because you're not speaking highly about it nonstop. No, there is a difference. And so with that said, you know, again, my example of bureaucracy, I mean, they just need a community manager just to recognize just at least something. And then that person communicate with them. Hey, this is what's going on in this space. Here's the reason why it's going on. Address it through me, and then I'll address it to the other channels. It's just that's just
like a PR
protocol.
company. Yeah,
that's standard protocol. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So I'm not a fan of Lily Token. I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I just didn't invest in it because of my own reasons. I didn't like the project. So there you go. So that's not funny, and that's just a personal choice, right? We all choose what we invest in. I'm hoping at this point it follows in the footsteps of Lily Token, because Lily Token had a bad launch from what I understand. I wasn't a part of it. I didn't invest in it. I know that it.
Well, hold on real quick. Are you saying Lily Finance or Lily Token?
Isn't that what it is? Lily Finance is Lily Token, or no?
Well, that's I was just trying to get, you know, clarification on. Okay, you're basically
I think it's the same thing, but I could be wrong. I thought Lily Token was also Lily Finance. Isn't that the same? The one that was originally supposed to be on SataMask, but then they backed out. Yeah, it took too long to get SataMask working, stuff like that. All right, so anyway, Lily Token, or whatever they call themselves, had a bad launch. I mean, even the holders would tell you that. But I don't know exactly when, but a few days later, it really took off. I mean, it did well. I mean, it pumped again. I don't know where it's at now. I really don't know, but I'm hoping for something like that. I'm hoping that, you know, this, you know, people are saying it's a rug pull. It's not a rug pull. You know, it's got $1.5 million in liquidity. And, you know, I talked to the devs. They seem like genuinely good people. So I don't think it's a case of that. I think they're a little bit shell-shocked for sure, but this thing could pump again because there are a good number of whales in this that got in early that haven't sold. So the only way they're going to turn this around is to get new investors. That's what I've been saying, new money. Somebody said in the Telegram, well, we're all new investors. And I'm saying, yes, I understand that, but we need new money to come in. And the only way to do that is to do marketing. And it's not because I'm trying to make money doing promotional videos. Like, I could care less. Like, if I don't ever do a promotional video for them, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of tokens that I can do promotional videos for that'll pay me to do a video. That's not the point. The point is like, guys, we don't need to kill this project because nobody, you know, people are going to forget about it. No one knows about it. You know, all people are hearing right now are the bad, you know, are the bad things. And there's a lot of good that could be talked about with this project, and they're just, they're just silent on it.
So, I mean, guys, for those who are tuning in who, maybe, you're glad that, obviously Larry's passionate about covering, Phantom and so on. He has basically stated, and you can see for yourself, whether it's, I don't know, a token sniffer or, seeing what they have here and so on, Dex tools. At the end of the day, it's not a pump and dump because, for one, he was able to verify the liquidity is still there and so on. But he's just stating as, like, for instance, the marketing and so on, it's, you want to hear them do something. So at the end of the day, the way I personally look at it is like, what I've always said it, what pushes up, huge price action into the positive and so on is when a project has supply and demand. They have just that. They have the supply, they have the lockup liquidity, and they had the volume over the weekend and so on. But the demand is not going to be there, and you're not going to see crazy price action because we're not hearing anything that's transparent from what Larry's mentioning from the actual team. And why is that? And again, we don't know at the moment, but I'm sure Larry is going to be right on top of it, and we'll find out. Not just Larry, but what he was mentioned with Teddy Ganja from Shinobi and so on, as well as other influencers and so on. So if you just tuned in, that's what Larry is addressing at the moment in regards to Phantom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any of these YouTubers personally, and I don't, I'll be welcome to talk to them and message them. We just haven't done that because I haven't done very many videos, and I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of things. I would love to be able to talk to some of these other influencers. Bleaves would be one of them. I'm a fan of Bleaves. He really covered this a lot. From what I understand, Bleaves put in something crazy like 10 ETH or something like that. He put a lot of money into this, of his own money. He did get paid to do some videos, but he also is pretty heavily invested in Phantom. And I know he did like a launch party and things like that. So he really, and I'm not going to speak for him because I don't know him, but I'm sure that he's thinking, I would imagine he's thinking the way I am, like, hey guys, okay, we did the launch party. We did some promotional videos. We did the AMAs. Okay, now let's continue to go. Like, you don't just stop talking about the project on YouTube just because we already had the launch. We had the launch. To me, it was oversold. It was a big ask. They asked for over 1,000 Ethereum, and we ran out of buyers. We ran out of buying pressure because everyone already bought, and there was so much FUD heading into the launch, the wide launch.
I'm going to actually interrupt you, Larry. We have a person, Crypto Guy. Hello, Crypto Guy. He just stated in the comments, he says, we just spoke to the devs in their Telegram. Crypto Guy, thanks for, first of all, coming on here. Can you kind of maybe shed some light on what you guys spoke about or what you gathered in regards to all that? We would love to hear from you.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you, even if you'd want to come on the channel and talk, or if you just want to drop it in the comment section. Good, bad, or ugly, we want to hear it. This is not fudding this project. I believe in Phantom. I think that the devs are nice people. I had a great conversation with Riz off camera and also Matt. I understand where they're coming from. I know they're private people, and I respect that. But there's other people that can be talking about this project, and it needs to be talked about every single day. Like Strange Inu, we can look at Strange Inu. So Strange Inu is a smaller project, and for them, they have like about, Strange Inu has like 12 or 15 different influencers besides myself talking about it. I don't even know if I can pull it up on here. Let's see. Whoops, I'm pushing too many buttons. But Strange Inu, is doing it the right way because they're saying to themselves, like, this is what I think went on with Strange Inu. Strange Inu said, okay, we can go out and get a big influencer or two, and there goes our marketing budget or what we want to spend. Or we can go get a whole army of smaller YouTubers, and we can get a lot of bang for our buck because we can get like 10, 15, 20 videos a day. So good, bad, or ugly, when these videos come out and they talk about the price, whether it's down or not, what are they hearing in the beginning? Strange Inu. What are they hearing in the middle of the video? Strange Inu. In the end, Strange Inu. Strange Inu, Strange Inu, over and over again until people are sick of hearing it. So they're going to have to look at it and at least consider it. But when you don't talk about the project, people, unfortunately, the crypto space moves very fast and people forget about things. That, you know, it's like everybody in crypto has ADHD. And I'm talking about that as somebody that has ADHD. Like, it's hard for me to pay attention. Like, I'll forget about a project if it's not like constantly being marketed to me. Okay, so this is what they're saying. There is a marketing and PR team being hired. They have made partnerships with several influencers, one of which has well over 100,000 subs. So maybe that's Austin Hilton. That's fine. But this stuff should have been done ahead of time. You don't just roll out the marketing plan in a few days. Like, we're suffering right now. This chart is flat. There's just no buys coming in. The marketing plan should have been rolled out, you know, days in advance, weeks in advance, so that as soon as you stop, you know, there is no stop. There's no wall. There's no timeout. The game still okay. So you like basketball, right? Let me just get this.
That's my main sport. So.
All right, so let's compare it to sports. That if it was given in Telegram, that was from the dev to me. Okay, thank you, Crypto Guy. Thank you for being the messenger. We appreciate you on this channel. Okay, so if we're playing a game, I don't follow basketball as much as I did in years past. So you're a Phoenix Suns fan?
Portland Trail Blazers are my main team. Phoenix Suns are like my second team. That was my mom's team, and you know, she passed away about 3 years ago. But
I'm sorry to hear that. What's your main? So I'm sorry. What's your main team?
My main team is the Portland Trail Blazers, but you know they don't got nothing going on. The Phoenix Suns, you know, they went to finals last year and they're trying to make another run. So.
All right. So who are the top two players for the Phoenix Suns?
Oh, that's easy. That's Chris Paul and Devin Booker, and then a close third would be DeAndre Ayton.
All right. I'm Chris Paul, and you're Devin. Was it Booker?
Yeah, Devin Booker.
Okay. So I'm Chris, and you're Devin. Okay. So we're going into halftime, and we're up by 30 points. We're way out in front. We're already like really, you know, we're looking at ourselves, you know, we're playing, you know, whoever we're playing the Chicago Bulls, and we're up by 30 points. And I look over you and I say, you know what, Devin, I'm Chris Paul and you're Devin Booker. You know, we're stars. We don't need to play anymore. We're up by 30 points. So when we come out in the second half, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to give them the basketball and we're going to let them play. Because we've already scored a lot of points. I've scored 45 points and you scored 52. We've already done our job. We've already scored a lot of points. We're going to let the bench play. And whatever happens, happens. We've already done our job. We're going to win this game no matter what. Okay, so then what happens? So the other team, the Chicago Bulls, they have their starting five in there. And we have our bench players in there. The guys that, you know, are not used to playing too much. And they play the whole entire second half and get crushed. And, you know, we're up by 30 and we wind up losing by 3 points.
Right.
So that's what Phantom's doing. Okay, they crushed it. They did 1,000 ETH in the presale. They're way out in front. Right. You know, that's a lot of money. That $3 million, that's great. They did a fantastic job. They had a lot of hype, a lot of marketing. Everything was great. Okay, so we're good now. Now we're going to stop playing because we've already done it. It doesn't work that way. You have a plan for the pre-sale and the wide launch. So there's marketing done leading up to the pre-sale. And as soon as the launch happens, people are buying because they're hearing influencers talk about it like at that moment with launch parties like Bleaves had. And then promotional videos by, if you want to do a whole army approach of small YouTubers, that's great. If you want to hire, you know, big influencers that have 100,000 subscribers, that's great. But somebody at the moment of launch needs to be talking about it. Like a lot of people need to be talking about it because when the big YouTubers talk about it, some of the smaller ones will talk about it for free. Like there's just no plan. Right. You know, they can't just keep saying we're going to execute a plan. They just need to do it. You know, like, look, the shirt says right here. I'm touching the wrong side. What's the Nike slogan?
Just do it.
There you go. So there's the whole answer. You know, I could have just shut up the whole time. And like I said, you know, this is what they need to do, and just point to the logo, and you would have known what I was talking about.
Just do it, man. I get what you're saying. It's just a little bit of frustration. You know, not exactly FUD, but just frustration.
Let's just turn it into a sports show.
Yeah.
So, no, we're just having a good time. Yeah, this is not FUD. This is me venting to my friend Max here. This is me explaining my point of view. This is me being upset for not just my bag, but this is upset because I've had some conversations with people, you know, that are actually more invested than me, like, you know, $8,000-9,000 with one guy, and a couple other people are invested. And whether you put, you know, $100 into this or, you know, $10,000, it's still your hard-earned money. Okay, here's somebody saying something here. Crypto guy says Terra asked for 2,200 ETH. Now, I got invested in Terra, but I didn't get in the pre-sale. I got in the launch and sold 67%. The ask isn't the problem. Okay, the problem is public pre-sales. They are wallowing very inexperienced investors to enter that are chasing rainbows. Okay, that's a good point. So he's saying, so are you thinking, so maybe he's thinking more about having like private sales, and those are just usually conducted by a bunch of people that potentially, like, you know, could be whales or people that have been in crypto a long time, and they're not really for the general public, so to speak. Like, you know, there's different levels, right? You have the private sales, then you have whitelisted pre-sales, and you have a public.
No, I get where he's coming from, but I mean,
yeah,
in the same regard, you know, small cap projects. Let's face it, a lot of us are chasing those rainbows,
right.
And that's just the reality of it, because that's why we get involved in one of these low cap tokens, because it's a lot easier to see them rainbow, if you will. I'm not shooting down what you mentioned. I really do appreciate you coming on here and mentioning that. That's not me showing you disrespect or anything like that. That's just the way I look at it. That's the way a lot of people look at it. I mean, let's face it. I mean, especially the ones, let's say that they start off with 225,000 market cap upon launch or something like that, and then boom, volume comes in, and the next thing you know, they're like at a $4 million market cap or higher.
Yeah. So the thing is, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I also agree with what crypto guy is saying. You know, the venture capitalists, basically, they got to be vetted. So this is who's involved with the pre-sale. They're basically like angel investors or venture capitalists. I totally get that. That's a good point. I wasn't expecting this thing to go crazy 10x right out of the gate in the first half hour. What I was hoping for was a gradual incline, like Terra. Like he mentioned Terra. I was, you know, not in the pre-sale, but I got in on launch, and that was just a beautiful launch, the way it just gradually went up. And I attributed that to excellent marketing, but also they had that buy tax, or I'm sorry, the sell tax of 16%. Now I thought maybe Phantom was onto something, because they also have the sales tax currently set for, I don't know, a couple of weeks at 20%. So I was like, you know what? That's good that they're doing that, because that's what Terrarium did, Terra. But they lost the momentum. And I remember the number, we talked about it offline. It was around 922 ETH. That's when all the FUD came out, and it was just a real struggle to get over 1,000. They ended up with like 1,033 or 1,034 ETH. So the momentum was actually lost during the pre-sale, because they were really looking to get 2,000 ETH, and I didn't think they were going to get there. But
they did,
and they didn't. But then they really didn't when the FUD came out. Yeah. So I don't want to say what Telegram I was in today, but I got to get this off my chest, because I'm talking to my friend now, Max, right? So I was in this Telegram, and you know how I'm not into drama, but I was in a Telegram, and I'm thinking about investing in this project, actually, and I like this project, and I've been talking to people about this project in Telegram and through Twitter, through private messaging, for about 3 weeks. So I go into the Telegram. I'm not going to mention the project because it's not fair. They're not here to defend themselves. And I said to them, "Hey guys, how's everyone doing today?" Or what's up, everyone? Something like that. And they didn't. I got a rude comment from someone, but I found out it wasn't part of the dev team, because I asked that question. And they said, "Oh, you know, we don't want you doing an AMA with them," because, and I wasn't even asking to do an AMA. I was just trying to check the temperature to see what was going on. They were like, "Oh, we don't want you to do an AMA because you promoted a scam, Phantom." And I was like, "Oh, here we go." You know, that's when I know that I'm getting to be a little more of a popular YouTuber. And I mean, that was fine, but it just upset me, because I just fired right back. And I'm not somebody that gets involved with the drama. And I just said, "Hey, look, you know, I'm not here to talk about another project. I'm here to actually learn more about a project that I've been following for about 3 weeks. And that's your project that we're talking about in this Telegram. I won't mention again the name, But I'm just like, like, are you part of the dev team? Like, who are you to tell me that I can't come in here and say hello to everybody? And you're going to tell me, oh, we don't want you doing an AMA. Like, I'm not even asking to do an AMA. I'm actually just trying to see how we're moving along with this project and garnering more information. Like, I wasn't even thinking about soliciting them for an AMA. So
Yeah.
it was just like, it was weird. That was the first time I ever had someone be rude to me. And then I had a couple nice people in the group that I didn't know who they were. And they kind of stuck up for me. Like, look, you're a really nice guy. And, one person said you're a respected YouTuber. And, I'm sorry. He's just being a pain in the ass or whatever he said. But it doesn't reflect the community. So I was like, thanks for that. But my point of coming out like this is saying, look, I invested in this too. It's not like I'm trying to push something that I don't, didn't believe in. It's not just that I'm talking about it because I got paid to talk about it. Also, I mean, I could have got paid because I got paid in Ethereum, right? I could have just kept the Ethereum and not invested in it. But that is not the way I am. Like, I'm not going to promote something. I'm not going to get paid to promote something and then not invest in it. Like, I reached out to the team and asked to promote it. They came to me afterwards when I suggested, hey guys, you need to get a video out there. And I know you don't like to be on camera. Just do a pre-recorded one and I'll throw it on my channel. No problem. And then like 3 days went by and they said, hey, Larry, we'd like to do an AMA on your channel. I'm like, sure, we can do that. It was a surprise because I didn't think they were going to do any AMAs.
No, I get it. You're just trying to clear the air. Crypto Guy did post a little bit more in the chat. If you want to read that, for instance, he says, you are correct with Terra, but pre-sale has become a fad. In the last 60 days, you never heard of pre-sales, only private sales. For instance.
Well, I've been like bouncing around different pre-sales. So I've known about pre-sales for a while. I mean, or I've been active in them for well over a year, like mainly messing around on Pink Sale. And Pink Sale is a dangerous place if you don't know what you're doing. I kind of got sick of it because I'm at the point where I have to actually ask people, other people, and say, hey, do you know of any good pre-sales? Because there's so many scams on Pink Sale. So I'm familiar with the process. I definitely am familiar with Pink Sale and Pulio or Pulo, however you say it. I'm familiar with those. I like Pulo better than Pink Sale, but Pink Sale, there's just so many of them. It's easy to get into the pre-sales. But yes, you're right. Private sales, I don't want to say they're drama free, but the people that are investing in the private sales, have a level of experience that's a little different from the average investor. They know what they're dealing with. They've been around crypto. So there might not be as much issue, but he is right. Crypto Guy is right that it is becoming a fad. It's becoming the trend because, I was in CVC. What was the other pre-sale? I got into CVT. That kind of got crushed. I guess it was Pink Sale's fault. I'm not sure, but and I was early on other ones like Terra, Banana Task Force Ape, and this Bandex Index. So like they're coming out with these pre-sales at the influence, and it's not a bad thing. But people's expectations is that immediately when it comes out of the gate, it's going to go, 5x. And that's just not how it works. A lot of times when they come out, the first thing that happens is the people that got in the pre-sale are dumping. But there's a lot of things that people don't know. It's not just the people that are buying in the pre-sale that are dumping. It's the people that are getting airdrop tokens. And I'm not just talking about one particular project. But a lot of times influencers or whoever, members of the dev team, whoever's invested in things are airdrop tokens. And those people wind up dumping. And that's what usually causes the large green candle followed by the sharp red candle. So I think that we rugged Mac's connection again.
It's not rugged. Sorry. I'm
He
still with you.
He kept his audio and rugged the video just temporarily. So he'll be back in a second. I might be scaring Max today because he's never seen this side of me before on camera. But you know what? I just wanted to make the show more interesting. I was like, you know what, Larry? Just be real. Just be yourself. Come on the camera. Talk about what's on your mind. If something's bothering you, be respectful about it and talk about it. Like, I'm a very respectful person. I'm not here to trash anybody, rip apart anyone, talk about any projects in a bad light. I want everybody to do well in this space, in the crypto space. I really do. And I'm passionate about Phantom because I believe in it, because I spent so much time with it. And damn it, I mean, people are investing in it from, watching me. I can kind of hear you there. So Crypto Guy, I thank you. You make a lot of good points. I really welcome you to keep joining us. And for those of you that are watching us for the first time, we do this craziness every single night, Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And whatever time that is specific, I don't even know because I can't do the math. Saturdays and Sundays, we're at 4 p.m. We've got 8 people in here. So those are to join us Saturdays, Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Figure out whatever time that is in whatever time zone you're in. Guys, if you want to drop in the chats and let us know where you're watching from. This is Max. He's come back. And I'm Larry. And we're very happy to have you guys here. So we did talk about a really cool project in the beginning, Devour token, and we talked about Bandex or whatever. Is it banana index, right? I can never say it right. We talked about Phantom. We talked about how I aped in to buy some more Crow at 27 cents. Now it's at 28 cents. What did we talk about? We looked up things on Token Sniffer. We talked, you know what? So the surprise was the commission. We talked about that. That actually seems like a decent project. Like it's going to help Saitama. The only one we didn't talk about was Zilliqa.
No, it's okay. We don't necessarily have to cover it at the moment. So
okay.
Yeah.
I will check out. Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. I will check. Oh, whoops. That's you saying that.
Yeah, to him because he was saying he had to get going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, does Crypto Guy have a channel? My handle. Oh, Crypto Punk. Oh yeah, I've seen it. Actually, if you see me in the future, I changed it for one channel. For your information, I am the top 5 holder in Phantom. Oh wow. See you, buddy. Okay. Wow, that's good. So we were in the presence of a whale. That's pretty cool. So good. Top 5. That's like some big bucks right there. I like that. Got my attention. So you're welcome to come on the show anytime you want. And that can just be in the comments, or if you even want to come on the camera, I don't care. You can come on the camera or the audio. It doesn't matter. Everybody is welcome on the show. So, but yes, if you guys have not heard, Max has his own crypto channel and also his own gaming channel. Maximus Crypto is his crypto channel, and both of those channels links are in the description of this video. So go check out Max, subscribe to his channel.
And not only that, I mean, technically speaking, I mean, this is Crypto Talk Now with Max and Larry. So I come on here daily.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're having a great time. I mean, I'm having a little fun with this. I mean, people, I'm not really mad. I'm just passionate. I want you guys to see the passion that I'm having for this, because there's no need for a version 2 and there's no need for Phantom to go away. It just needs to be marketed. That's all. It's pretty simple for me, but again, I'm a marketing type of guy. But did you buy any more Zilliqa?
Well, it's just something I wanted to point out on the show was, me personally, I'm looking to get more Zilliqa, probably get another bag, because I mean, that's just like dirt cheap sale price. And of course I'm into it long term, especially with, what they got going on with Metopolis, for instance. But yeah, I just thought that was like an absolute buy, if you will. Kind of like, we both agree that Kronos, Crypto.com coins are a current buy as we speak, and so on. So
yeah, I can't
give me just a second. I'll get right back. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't say enough about Crypto.com and Kronos. But yeah, Zilliqa, when Max comes back, we'll talk a couple more minutes about that, and we'll probably wrap things up here, guys. We appreciate you joining us. Let's wait for Max to come back. His audio is His audio might be
No,
off too.
I'm fine. It's not that. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm still with you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so his audio is still there. So guys, we are looking forward to another stream. We had a great guest today. We had Chad from Devour Token. It just kind of happened by accident. I was, bumped into a video with 2-Bit Crypto that he made. And so I was like, you know what? We got to get him on. And it was pretty cool. And also Wendy O is cool to check out. She has some good information on her channel. She had our guest on as well, Chad. So what do you think, Max? Do you want to try to wrap it up? I'm kind of losing my voice.
Yeah, we can. I kind of want to, at least be able to see the Suns, game 1 of the second round just started about 45 minutes ago. It's okay. It probably tipped off about a half an hour ago. So I'm going to check that out here on Pacific Standard Time here in Phoenix. I'm probably going to get some late dinner going for everybody. I know people are kind of getting hungry and so on, but nonetheless, I think today's show was really, really good. I really liked, again, having Chad on and, from Devour. For those who came in late, by all means, you can check out either the recorded later on or, and you rewind it or, see it from the beginning, whatever you want to do. But nonetheless, at the very beginning of the segment, we had Chad, the developer from Devour. Really, really cool project, and which I'm, of course, and Larry as well, do more research about. But I am leaning towards actually, getting a position in Devour because I'm just super impressed by it. At the end of the day, we all want our tokens and coin projects to have some sort of utility. Imagine not just having utility, but daily activity or utility, if you will, because it's tied into the whole thing of tokenizing various restaurants and the owners, or on top of it, just the rewards for the patrons, just on and on and on. And what they got going on with the NFTs, like no gas fees on minting NFTs or any of that, making it super simple. It's just, again, I can't say enough good things about it. I was just blown away with it. Shout out to Larry. Props to you, man, about finding that. That was a definite gem.
Thank you. Yeah, just following up on what you said there, Chad, as an individual, seems like a super nice guy, super professional, well-spoken, knowledgeable. Team looks the same way. So, it had to, unless I find out that the whole team was a bunch of axe murderers.
Yeah.
And, I'm investing in it. I'm a 95% certain that I'm going to. I need a little more time to figure out exactly, the position I'm going to take with it. But to me, if they can execute their roadmap, I don't see any reason why, people wouldn't want to hold that long term. It's not something that you just jump in and out, investing in one of the puppy dog or kitty cat meme coins. It's something that has, like you said, strong utility. And, if I want to send you, we didn't even talk about this, but wouldn't it be cool if, say, you wanted to go to your favorite restaurant in Phoenix, right? In the Phoenix area. And it was your birthday and I sent you an NFT to your favorite restaurant, like $100. It entitled you to $100 meal with you and your family. That would be kind of cool. I could just send you the NFT. You could walk into the restaurant and give them the NFT or show your NFT, and you've got a birthday meal out of it. So I think there's a lot, there's a lot of utility and a lot of potential with that. And
there really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really is, not to cut you off, but I'm just stating, for also those who, weren't part of that segment of today's show, Chad also mentioned that partnership with, again, I'm going to say this one more time. Are you kidding me? The Bored Ape Yachts Club. You were talking about the whole thing about using the NFT towards $100. If you had anything really tied in with them, the NFT might actually have a lot of value, more than just paying for that darn mill or whatever. So, I don't know. It's just really exciting things going on with that. It just seems like it's a diamond in the rough, if you will.
It was fate, it was a diamond. It was fate because I did zero research. It's just like it happened by accident. So it was cool. I love surprises like that. And as I said to you offline, one of these days we're going to hit it good where, us and our viewers, whoever's lucky enough is going to be exposed to something that's really going to take off. So without any further ado, guys, I'm just going to say goodbye to everyone and thank you on behalf of me and Max. Check out the links in the description. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us, with our YouTube channels. Max has his own. Subscribe to his channel. Support Max. Max is a good guy. I'm having a great time, Max, doing this. I wouldn't have done this live stream without you. So we're just going to keep it going and see where it goes from here. I think that this channel is going to grow a lot, and this show is going to be one that people are going to tune in every day for, because we're going to make it fun and we're going to make it educational. We're going to bring on some good devs that are knowledgeable, and people are going to get exposed to something that they might not necessarily have even heard of. So I thank everybody out there. Guys, be safe, and we will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night, everybody.
Well, good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.